Boom. Hello. We're live. It's Friday night and it's in the paint. Being brought to you by yours truly, R. Jones, and the man that created the show, Mr. Max 611. He's right there, and we're live. Could you turn that down some? That reverb?
Oh,
Indeed. Indeed. Way to go. Two thumbs up there, buddy. Way to go. I love it. That's awesome.
watch yourself. Watch
No, I'm not.
yourself.
I am watching myself. See, that's why. Hi. Um, but anyway, yeah. Welcome to the show. Like I said, we're on from 9 p.m. to roughly about 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us. Yo, got a lot to discuss tonight. Indeed. The first thing on the docket we're going to be talking about with sports and children. I'll just start off like that. This we have a coach of a youth football team in the name is Savannah Gators. The coach, while doing the game, he struck a young kid not once but twice. The second time he knocked him off balance. I think he caused him to fall as well. And yeah, a whole lot of drama from this. Give me 1 second. I'm in the middle of my thought. Sorry about that, Dave. I'll bring you in a second. Yeah. The whole thing that struck me funny was the mother didn't wish to press charges, and I'm glad that the city and state did decide. Anyway,
Oh,
we're
they
gonna do
did.
that. They did. They did.
Right.
You know.
Right. Could
And
you put his name on blast, please?
oh, that's right. I will. His name, the punk's name is Gerrell Williams. That's Ger. Yes, I'm spelling it out. ELL Williams. Okay, and just disgusting. You understand? I saw the video of this, of course, went viral, and I'm just like, okay, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? You're doing this? Let me. This I got a few other takes on this, but I'm gonna bring our brother in real quick as well, and I'm gonna let you go with your thought. Good evening, David. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Good evening, fellas. How you doing? Everybody good?
Hey, what's up, David? I
I'm
like
up, brother.
the hat. I like the colors. My
Yeah.
favorite colors.
I like the
Right.
background. I like the
Yeah,
background.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
a?
yeah.
Do you have a green screen there, sir?
Yes, I do.
You got
Ah.
we're gonna have to talk because I need to set that up because
Oh yeah.
Mac doesn't know how to do that. Let me stop.
Y'all starting already. I see how this
Don't
see
say,
how this goes.
don't say y'all. I haven't said. All right. So I see you guys are talking about that
Yeah.
video with the youth football coach.
Mhm.
Right.
I've coached youth sports.
So have I.
Yeah, baseball
Okay.
and basketball.
Right.
And what I saw in that video was beyond disgusting. I mean, a lot of people who coach sports, played and um, maybe didn't make it to the level that they wanted to make,
Right.
and a lot of that pent up frustration carries over into the coaching brains.
Hmm.
Um, working with kids is not for everybody.
That's true.
Very
And
true, indeed.
I've worked with young people for a long time, and certain age groups I try to avoid. I'll be
Mhm.
honest with you. Uh,
Which ones?
Okay. That's
middle
funny.
school, middle school.
I
Really?
understand.
Yeah.
Damn.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, because I tell you, I think that anybody who works with middle school
Yeah.
children deserves combat pay
Wow.
because they will test you, but you've got to be the adult.
Hmm.
And what I saw was someone who forgot that they were the adult in the room.
Hmm.
And for the parents, the mother not pressing charges, I tell you, sometimes there's a culture set up, especially with these elite programs,
Hmm.
where the parents are made to feel that we did you a favor
Hmm.
by getting your child into this program. And
Hmm.
Right.
so they may be less inclined to call out certain behaviors
For
as
sure.
a parent because they believe that the pros outweigh the cons. so he takes a little abuse and he gets toughened up a little bit. But the benefit is that coming out of a certain program, and I don't know, I'm not talking about this program in specific because I don't know anything about it, but in general, a lot of times parents buy into this. I've got my child into this program, and this is an opportunity for them to get seen and get the best high schools, which lead to the colleges, which can lead to the pros. And so they will put up with a lot of bullshit, to be honest with you,
No doubt.
because they have been convinced that somehow this is the way to go in order to make it. But a lot of times, and I don't want I'm talking a long time, but a lot of times these it's more about the parents' interest than the kids' interest. They force these kids into some things, and the kid winds up hating it. And they go home and they say, "Well, coach did this and coach did that." And the parents will say, "Suck it up." So
That's true.
yeah.
That is true. I'm not gonna deny that. Mac, you have something to say about this before I
Yeah. David made some excellent points.
He did.
Myself, I've coached kids. Sometimes I still go and mentor, when I can. And like you said, you got to be the adult.
Right.
What that man did, Gerrell Williams, was wrong. It was out of pocket. When I've coached, I don't yell at them. I mean, you might have to at times, but not to the level of what he was doing. And I certainly don't put hands on any child. You are you out of your mind? I rarely we when I've done it, we try not to. We treat them like young men.
Yeah.
And we try to foster them to grow as young men. We try to foster a brotherhood. And the way some coaches do that is wrong. We aren't in the 70s, 80s, and 90s the way we came up, where you got yelled at, you might have got hit. I've seen it. I've seen it playing in baseball leagues, football leagues, not football, but basketball leagues. I played tennis a little bit. And you see coaches who are yellers. My high school coach was a yeller. College coach was a yeller. College coach, actually, he put his hands on somebody.
Jesus.
But we were 18, 19, 20 years old. After he did what he did, we had a meeting, before practice. He's like, trying to yell. We like, well, hold up, coach. We need to talk to you.
Yeah.
You need to listen. And we told him we weren't going to accept that anymore. Him yelling, that's just what it is. But we're in a different era. You cannot put your hands on a child.
No.
And he knocked the kid on the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how hard he hit him. And if you see the video, which I'm sure you guys probably did, Bishop is in the house with us. Bishop, your mic is live. Before you say anything, Bishop, and of course, thanks for joining us here tonight. I just want to say something. There's a couple things that bother me about this whole thing. One, what are you so angry about that prompted you to do that? That's one. Two, he made a statement. He said he apologized, but what struck me in the apology was the fact that he said, "I shouldn't have done that in public." That bothered me. That bothered me because I'm like, well, geez, if you do this in public, what would you have done in private?
And what are you doing in private?
Right.
Exactly.
When there
struck me
no
very
cameras around and no phones.
See that right there? I'm like, wait a minute. I said you're apologizing, but at the same time, you're not apologizing.
He's not.
Because
That's not an apology.
Exactly. Because what would you have done in private?
I'm sorry that you had to see that. That's really what he's saying. And before Bishop jumps in, I want to say that I've also coached girls. I coached girls softball in high school. And there is a totally different approach to that, the way you coach girls and boys. I used to talk to the baseball coach, and the baseball coach, he may, yell at a kid, but I mean, he wasn't like abusive. But he may yell at a kid, and the boy will be back at practice tomorrow. With girls, they don't really respond to that, especially coming from a man. And if you happen to do that, then you've got some counseling that you have to do to get that girl to come back.
Right.
So it is a difference. But I just wanted to throw that in there. But
No doubt.
What's up, Bishop? How you doing?
What's up, fellas?
Up, brother.
What's up, Bishop?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. I saw that on the thread there. I mean, I coach kids. I coach youth basketball. Help coaching baseball. You get kids that don't listen, don't respond to things. It's sports.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's sports. It's not you're not coaching for a professional league contract. You're just trying to help kids build some self-esteem, help them get better at team sports, help them understand, because there's a lot of analogies in sports and life. And you also help instill some discipline. If you're doing those things, you're doing your job. As far as disciplining and so forth, unless it's your kid, and even still, like putting your hands on your kids for like sports, like because they're not doing something that you want them to do on the field or on the court or whatever. That's just ridiculous. He's out of control.
Very much so. That, and I know, LeBron James was saying, and I feel the same. I'm like, if I'm there in the audience and I see this guy, do that to my kid, the game is over.
Right.
The game is over.
I got a question for both David and Bishop. When y'all are coaching and interacting with the kids, do you also have the parents involved? When I've done it, we've always had an open door policy with the parents, and we want the parents there, and we want the parents supporting us, and we want the parents, active with us as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Bishop. Go ahead.
For me, that depends.
Right. Of course.
That depends.
Okay.
So if it's a LeVar Ball parent, no. I don't really need you interjecting yourself into the fact that sometimes I find and it's not like chauvinistic or anything like that. Sometimes I find like the young men that are coming from single parent households where it's just them and a mom. Mm-hmm. It's like they need that.
They need a man.
Time
need a strong
with their peers. And with a male role model in order to establish hey, here's how things should be done. Here's how you should be viewing things. Here's how you should conduct yourself when people are watching, when people are not watching. Because it's not just about the sports when you're coaching these kids. A lot of it is mentoring as well.
Yeah,
so kind of you're just using the sports as my thing is I use the sports as a way to ease my way into helping to mentor these kids, because a lot of times, I grew up in a single parent household. It was just my mom. And it's different. It's different. Like these young men, it's like they grew up in these single parent households. And I'm not saying that, women are not doing a great job, but you can't teach a young man who's coming into that pivotal stage in his life. You can't teach him how to be a man.
Right.
You can't. That's just like me trying to teach my daughter how to be a woman. I can't. I can't. And it's like some of the stuff is like I don't like the parents to be involved because they don't like you pushing the kids. They don't like the kids having to do things that make them uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. They don't like to and sometimes you get so I'll coach kids from 13 to 18. I started doing that since it got down here. I normally don't because, you get a lot of they've already established bad habits. They've already established they don't have to listen to what you're saying. And some of them will, step outside themselves and, challenge you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's kind of it's like I've gotten to a place where it's I enjoy those kind of kids because it's when you step outside yourself, that means I got to pay extra attention to you. And so you don't you basically have done the exact opposite of what your intention is, because
Mm-hmm.
your intention is to get me off you. So that's when I up the effort. So I
Mhm.
mean, and sometimes parents don't like that, but it's like I explain to all of my parents. It's like, here's how I do things, and here's how I expect here's how I expect your child to conduct themselves,
Mhm.
and I conduct myself that same way. And if you can abide by this and your child can abide by this, that's fine. But if not, then maybe I'm not the right coach for your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we established that from the beginning. And then I allow some parents to stay, but it's like you can't be chirping on the side. You can't be the
Right.
coach from the bench. I mean, from the bleachers. It's like, because it's not about your kid. It's like it's a team sport. So
Exactly.
Yeah, if I can, my story was a little different because I had no intention to coach, but when my son was, I want to say about 9, 10 years old, I
Mhm.
was looking for a baseball program for him, and at the time we were living in Brooklyn, and I found a place out in Ridgewood that was like a Catholic church league, and I signed him up for that, and
Mhm.
because I was always there, and I knew the game, I I would give some, I would assist, and they welcomed that, and then they were like, oh, well, you should coach, and I said, well, all right, but my son was in the
Mhm.
program, and I coached him along with the other kids as they got a little bit older, so I was with them for a few years. But that's how I got into it. And then with basketball, I wound up coaching basketball for a couple of seasons. The same way the coach that they had, he needed help.
Mhm.
And he asked me, since I was there, I was like one of the only parents there, to help him. And then it wound up his job was uh, taking too much of the time. And so he said, "Can you take over?" And I had never coached basketball before. And, we had a lot of fun. We didn't win a lot, but we had a lot of fun.
Okay.
But that was my introduction. And then when I got into coaching girls softball in high school, I don't have a daughter, but my son's high school, I became friends with the softball coach, and he and I, we talked baseball and sports a lot. And he was working by himself, and I
Mhm.
asked him. I said, do you need any help? And he said, sure. And we wound up coaching, for 7 years. And
Mm.
so, but that was a weird introduction because I learned a lot about girls in that time because I
Mhm.
was used to working with boys
Right.
and the way they respond to certain things. I've mentioned it before. The way they respond to you pushing them. Now, I had some girls that were very dedicated and loved softball, and they wanted me to push. It was sometimes they would say, "Push me harder." I remember
Mhm.
I had this one girl who um, she was trying to impress some, I guess, on the higher level scouts and stuff like that. And she wanted me to work out with her, and she wanted me to hit the ball to her. And I was sort of hitting it, honestly, gingerly. And she was like, "Come on,
Right.
Sanford, hit it harder, hit it harder." And I'm like, I work for the Department of Education, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all I need to do is hit the ball with my full strength,
For sure.
and hurt this girl. But she kept like hit it harder. So I
Oh
gave her
boy.
like half strength
Right.
level. But
Right.
then I had other girls that would go out for the team, and we were not a higher level high school team. This was we were decent, but we weren't like our girls didn't like go off to college and play for the most part. We had a couple that
Right.
played here and there, but that really wasn't the rule. It was more like a hobby for some girls, and we
Okay.
literally had some girls that would come out for the team, and it was like I would have to tell them the first day, "This is a ball, this is a glove." This,
Mm. Right.
it was that kind of thing, and
Uh-huh.
funny story. I had one girl that because I was working in the school, so we also had girls who were looking for groups and things to do, and so we encouraged
Okay.
them because the other coach, he was a dean, and so we kind of like use that as a way for girls to form friendships and other things. So it became like a big club. But we had just one girl who she knew nothing about softball, but we let her play. And first time I put her at the bat, I'm coaching first base. The poor girl, she's right-handed hitter. She gets into the left hand. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, she gets to the left-handed batter's box,
Right.
and she's facing the umpire.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Blue, timeout, Blue. And I had to run down the field and turn her around and put her in the right way. I said, the ball's coming from this way. So it was that kind of level.
Holy jeez.
So I definitely knew that I could not push them the same way. But then I had girls that were very dedicated and they were hardcore. And they would push, they would do the work for us. As men, we weren't going to, be too tough on these girls, and some of these girls didn't have fathers, and so they viewed us as like second. They viewed us as dads. Yeah. So what, like Bishop said, I can't teach them to be a girl. I mean, to be a woman, but I can show them how a man should treat them.
Okay.
And that's what we did, and I'm sure Bishop, that's what you do with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like for youth sports, to me, it's sort of like you at this stage, you trying to help ingrain a love and a dedication and a discipline for the sport.
Right.
At this stage, because you can't, even with my son, like you can't really push them too hard. It's got to be within them. And at a certain point, it's like if you're pushing so hard, it's more about you than it is them. And it's like you vicariously trying to do something in them that you didn't do or something. And that's not fair. That's not fair to the kid.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Not fair to the kid.
There you go. Let me just bring I see Chandler's. I'm gonna get ready to bring Chandler in a minute.
No, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
him.
This is gonna be lively tonight. Let me just say this. Let me just say this, man. I'm really pissed off at the mother. You understand? This is ridiculous. I have to go back to that because seriously, were you not seeing what was unfolding on that football field as we all were? You understand? And for you to not, I just don't understand that. I don't. Nobody can. I'm sorry. You could try to explain it to me. I just will never really grasp it.
Does the kid have a father in the picture?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Where's the father? Is she, poor? Is all those things factor in, but still, if you see the video. That was despicable what Gerrell Williams did.
But sometimes you have parents like the mothers will be even tougher on the sons than the coach. And like it wasn't on my team, but I had an occasion where my son's team played another team, and because the kid on the other team, he kept getting fouls, and he was out of position on defense. His mom walked across the court. Coach took him out. He was crying on the bench. Coach took him out. Mom walked across the court and started cursing the kid out during the game.
Wow. I've seen that before.
And it's just like, well, who knows what her motives were? Maybe she has something for the coach, or maybe she felt intimidated, or maybe she feels like her son needs to be tougher. She could have given him permission to go hard at her son, but it's just not a good look, and it just shows a lack of self-control because you could have done it. You could have done it in a lot of different ways to get the same message across.
Right, like it was you, who said that. He said he was upset that it was viewed publicly, right?
Yeah. That wasn't an apology.
God knows what that fool is doing.
And something else. And to kind of piggyback off of what you were just saying, Mac. There was another statement he said. It's like he was like for what he was doing wrong. What was that? What was he doing? You understand what I'm saying? Chandler, your mic is live, but I brought you in. So how you doing? And thanks for joining us tonight.
I'm tired. How y'all doing?
All right, brother. Yeah, you sound exhausted. You might not even make it for another half hour. You might be hearing some Z's from you, you know. but we, as you were listening, we were talking about that whole, what's the name of that damn team? The Savannah,
Gators.
Savannah Gators youth football coach. This guy called Gerrell Williams. What's your take on it, bro?
Well, and I don't want to mischaracterize what anybody said, but I heard a lot of excuses made for the mother. To me, they're excuses.
Okay.
Ain't no excuse for you allowing your child to be abused. I don't give a damn what her reasoning was. Okay?
Right.
She's allowing her child to be abused. So first of all, you're not a mother. You're just somebody who had a kid. That's the first thing. You're not a mother. All right? The fact that he felt the need to say that he should have done it inside says to me that they're abusing that child. Every single adult that was there needs to be punched in the face. Every single one. Because y'all were more interested in videoing a kid being assaulted than you weren't doing something about it. See, and how many of them had Black Lives Matter t-shirts on? I need to know that. Because see, Black Lives Matter until you have an opportunity to show somebody that they matter, and then y'all what? Do nothing. Right? If you listen to the video, the dude in the video, I'm gonna make this go viral. So your motive in filming that was to make it go viral.
Right.
That was your motive. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Right.
It's as far as the dude, he's a coward. I don't want to hear about anything. I don't give a damn what he said. Okay. I don't give a damn what he said. I don't give a damn about his apology. I don't give a damn about any of that. And the fact that the police are going to tell me that they can't charge him when it was an assault captured on film in public. That was an assault. Okay. That was an assault.
Right.
You're going to tell me, well, the mother won't press charges. You don't need the mother to press charges. You
don't.
No evidence that there was an assault.
You got the video.
We need the mother press charges for. It's actually your job to do that if somebody doesn't. That's your job.
Well, Chandler, let me hold you up for a second, because you talk about the old charges, whatnot. The spokesman for the was that Osceola County Sheriff's Office told the Washington Post that the agreement of the local state's attorney's office, the decision had been made that charges for child abuse will be filed, regardless of the parent's decision not to press charges.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Cause that's what I was about to say. You gotta charge him with something. Don't tell me the mother won't press charges, so it's all good. So nothing we can do. Mom won't press charges. But then, matter of fact, they need to charge her. Okay. She needs to be charged as well.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody got to go. Everybody goes. All right. I'm taking you. I'm taking you. You get a charge. Listen. There's people on life sentences right now. Okay, doing time with far less evidence than what they have on this video. Far less. All right. So you know what? I'm Oprah today. You go to jail. You go to jail. You go to jail. All you motherfuckers go to jail.
Sound like Oprah.
And me and R always talk about these type of things because the bigger entities don't talk about it, or it'll be a little blurb on their their media outlet. Of course. We've said this stuff is gonna go on. It keeps happening. It really needs to be something needs to change in regards to the culture, because these things keep happening, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse.
Right.
Yeah, if I could just add, because if you work in a school, you have to go through a process, and part of the process is training you how to work with children, and for the most part in these kind of programs, the coaches don't go through the same type of training.
No,
now they do. Now they do. They have to.
Well, that's good, because I know when I did, I didn't have to go through. I was a parent that they just knew, because I had a child in the program,
right.
And it just so happened to be that I worked in schools. But in a lot of these programs, if you have access to people's children, everybody now who has access to children should have some kind of training before
For
they are
sure.
allowed to do so.
Right.
Most definitely.
Not saying that this would have prevented what would happen,
Mhm.
but you can do a lot of weeding out of who should be working with children and who should not. Just because somebody played a sport doesn't necessarily mean that they could be a coach. And like Bishop was saying before, it's so much more than just the sports aspect of it. It is the developing of young people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And hopefully you can, if nothing else, you can bring out a joy for the sport. But this kid, who's the victim in this, um, he may be looking at his mother like, you saw this man do this to me.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
do it, so there's a lot of damage done with that. But I agree with Chandler.
Yeah.
Let the law take charge on this because the evidence is clear.
It's very clear.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for your opinions and thoughts on this. We're going to move on to the next lane. We're going to ride in the lane of Major League Baseball real quick. The New York Mets reported to be close to a deal with free agent catcher James McCann. The way they was talking, maybe a day ago, I thought it was going to be like a done deal, but that's still not the case. It's not official as of yet. You understand? And another thing, I thought this is just me and my crazy thinking. Maybe I was sleeping or coming out of sleep when they said this guy's name. I said, Brian. I was like, Brian McCann? I'm like, is that guy retired?
No, actually, he's. I think he still plays for the Braves.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
He went back to the Braves.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm shocked because I was like, I said, Brian McCann. I was like, wait a minute, this guy's
He's not
still
a
in the league. I'm
starter
like,
anymore.
well, obviously, Well, I mean, I know they were gonna. I think right now, if it doesn't work out, let's say if the negotiations kind of break down to a point where neither side is talking, I think they're gonna have to take another look at Real Muto again. If he's not signed.
That's who they need to go after. But I was reading some things earlier. The Mets want to spend money on a pitch on Bauer and spend money on Springer.
Mhm.
Which I'm all in favor of, but you have to go get real Muto also.
You do.
Well, that's what Matt.
There's no salary cap.
You hit what I was going to say too. That's the story that I heard is that the idea is that going after McCann, saves them money. He's a cheaper version of Riamoto. He's not as good as Riamoto, but
Right.
he is still a very solid option because there's really only two real free agent catching options out there.
Right.
These two. So the idea that I heard was that they were going to go after McCann and then, because he's a lesser cost, and then be able to go after a pitcher like Bauer, and the big prize would be Springer. So that's the thinking that I heard now. Now, like to Mac's point, there is no salary cap, but they might be looking at some kind of fiscal responsibility and say, I don't want to. If I go after Riamuto, then I may they have in their mind what their budget is, what their so it's not an imposed cap, but they may have in their mind that we're not going to spend over a certain point, and they may think that they can't do it if they do Riamuto.
So why did Cohen buy the team?
Well, Cohen,
to say to spend money, right, and make the Mets better.
I agree with that. They may be thinking, I don't know anything about Cohen. This is the first opportunity that we're getting to see him in free agency,
right?
And so, he's a billionaire, but he also may be a shrewd businessman and think that I still have to put some kind of cap on what I'm going to spend. I want to make a splash in free agency, but
right.
But,
no, that's Sandy Alderson. That's Sandy Alderson.
I was getting ready to say that, Chandler. He's always been cheap.
Yeah.
Sandy Alderson.
Yep. And That's why I didn't like the Sandy Alderson hiring. And then
Okay.
I told Mac this. I didn't like the Sandy Alderson hiring, and everybody. There's a lot of revisionist history in the media about Sandy Alderson. Oh, it was the Will Ponds and da 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 da. Let me tell you something about Sandy Alderson. He went cheap for a lot of years in Oakland. Okay, he went cheap when they didn't even have to. Everybody said, "Oh, it was Moneyball." No, it was just they were just being damn cheap. Okay, now James McCann has had one good season.
True.
One. Okay, so first of all, he's not as good as Real Muto. He had one good season as good as Real Muto. Okay. Now, one of the things that they kept saying about him was, well, we don't like the way he frames pitches, that analytics nonsense.
He got better at that.
In one season.
Right. I agree with you.
One season.
When a guy, okay, that's why I don't want him.
You know my motto when guys have a career year when they look for a contract. Okay? Yeah. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. This guy basically, he's basically Austin Romine. Okay, you're about to spend $100 million on Austin Romine. You may as well trade. You may as well listen. Austin Romine is a solid defensive catcher who's really not going to hit a whole lot, but he's a great defense. You may as well go trade for damn Austin Romine and save the damn money rather than give James McCann $100 million.
Really, you could bring back Donato.
Exactly.
Well, is that the number? Is that really the numbers? 100 million for the guy?
Yes, because Real Muto wants about 130, 140. Okay, McCann's gonna get 90 to 100 over 4.
He ain't getting that,
dude. I'm telling you, because the Angels, there's a lot of teams involved. So and because he's viewed as the cheaper option, cheap is relative. When you talking sports contracts, cheap is relative, right? So if I can get this guy for 100 or 90, when this other guy wants 120, right?
McCann is more like 40, bro.
McCann he's going to get. I'm not telling you what he should get. I'm telling you what he's going to get.
We can make a bet on that. We can make a little friendly bet. I know I owe you an iced tea, but we can make a bet on that. He ain't getting 80. He's going to get about 40, 50.
Artie Moreno's involved, bro. All right, but anyway, because I've been looking at all the reports. He's looking at 90 million from somebody, because otherwise he would have been signed already.
Not 90 million for 18 home runs?
Yes. This is the nonsense.
And he's improved overall as a player, but I'm in the wrong business, really.
Yes, we all are. But I don't like the McCann thing at all. I really don't. I think that's Sandy Alderson, and I think Cohen is listening to him, because the reality is, with everybody going cheap, everybody's trying to go cheap right now. You can blow everybody out of the water and get everybody you want, okay? And then you're locked in now, okay, over the next few years. Now all you have to do is make minor changes, because he's going to spend a lot more money in a minor league system and trying to get scouts and all of the analytics department and building that up than he's going to spend on these players. So from that point, David, I can understand you saying, okay, there's got to be some kind of fiscal limit. I get there's some kind of fiscal responsibility. But then you should not have been running your mouth saying, I'm going to do this, and this. Now, this is what the fans are expecting. They're expecting you to spend some damn money. So now if you go get James McCann and you don't get Real Muto, because, by the way, they're not getting Real Muto because Dave Dombrowski's running the Phillies.
Right.
We all know Dombrowski spends money.
Over there.
Yeah. Dombrowski's spending money. Okay, he ain't taking no job. He can't spend no money. All right? He's like, listen, you want to hire me? Listen, open the checkbook up, buddy.
Right.
Your star player on the Phillies wants to catch your back. Every player on that team wants to catch your back. The manager wants to catch your back. You have to bring Real Muto back if you stand any chance with the Phillies of having a viable team. So Real Muto, and you hire Dave Dombrowski, he's staying with the Phillies. They might give him $200 million. Who knows? Dave Dombrowski pays people, as David Price. David Price got paid. Everybody got paid when it was in Boston. You get a check. You get a check. You want a check? You get a check too. But they won the World Series. So I think the Mets are making a mistake. Go ahead.
So, Chandler, let me ask you this, though. So, with that said, maybe the Mets feel that they're not going to be able to get Real Muto, so they put their chips in the McCann basket just for that reason, rather than go full out for a player that they think they're not going to be able to sign and then lose McCann to somebody else.
But that's what I'm saying is you may as well stick with the catchers you have. Listen, Nito is a good defensive catcher.
Yeah,
listen, they have given up on players far too often over the past few years, and guys have gone up, and this was because of Will Ponds and the lack of player development. We all get that. But at this point in the game, stop giving up on your own players. You're going to bring in player development people. Stick with the catchers you have since you can't get Real Muto. Let James McCann go get his $80, $90, $100 million somewhere else and let him suck for them. Let him revert because water seeks its own level. James McCann is an average baseball player. All right. He's not worth the money you're going to pay him. And listen, the dude couldn't handle it in Detroit, man. He had to go to the White Sox where there were no expectations before he was able to succeed. What that tells me a lot about him. That tells me a lot.
Chandler, I just want to say this. See, I'm a Mets fan, and the points that I was making were just addressing the Mets going after McCann. I didn't say that I wanted him.
Right.
Okay.
Because what I really feel, and you made the point, Chandler, and I agree with this, is that the catching position at this point, they've got hitters. I'm looking for someone that can control the pitching staff, call a good game, and throw some runners out.
Right.
I'm looking for a defensive-minded. This is not Piazza that we're talking about. I'm looking for a defensive-minded catcher that can come in there and call a good game and be that captain on the field. In the catching position. I'm looking more at shoring up that center field position because the weakness goes up the middle.
Yep.
And so we haven't had a real center fielder in I don't know how long. We've had guys, corner outfielders that we plugged in there and all this other stuff, and it shows defensively. So if they don't go after, if they don't get McCann, I'm fine with that because honestly, I didn't know much about McCann before they started talking about him. I knew Real Muto, but so I didn't really care about that. What I was reading off was what I read today when I looked up about what the buzz was about McCann versus Real Muto. But I agree with you. They've got catchers where if they shore up these other positions, then that's not going to be a glaring issue. They've got a solid pitching staff. You get somebody that the pitchers like to throw to, they feel comfortable with. That's all I'm looking for in my catcher. When runners get on base, that they're not running all over the bases on these guys. Throw somebody out. That's really what I'm looking for in the catcher position at this point.
Yep.
That's really what I agree with you, Chandler, on that. But I wanted to make sure that it was clear that I was really answering two different questions. I was responding to should the Mets get James McCann and why him over Real Muto based on what I read. But as a Mets fan, catching was not my priority. What I'm looking for in this offseason.
Okay.
Springer's out there, get him in center field. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Get Springer. Listen, the Astros are putting making a lot of people available. I'm hearing that Correa might be available. You might be able to get Correa instead of Lindor, depending on the cost.
Yeah.
Listen, you got Andrelton Simmons is out there who is a whiz defensively. If you don't want to trade the pieces for Lindor, listen, you can get some players as the Mets as an organization can get some players, good players, really good all-star caliber players. And Sandy Alderson can still look good and not spend money, but he has to do this right. Okay,
Right.
You can't spend the money on McCann. Listen, Andrelton Simmons is out there, Bauer's out there, the Japanese pitcher's out there.
Tanaka's out there.
Yeah, Kluber is on the market. The Tampa Bay Rays have made Blake Snell available. Listen, you can make some moves here. All right, you can make some
If
moves.
they get Bauer, I'm happy because Syndergaard's coming back. We got Stroman, and we got
DeGrom. Don't forget
DeGrom. Of course, DeGrom.
Right.
What's our lefty?
Matt's is
and we
maybe
got
on
Matt.
the block. Matt's may be on the block.
Yeah,
I
I
understand that, but you still need a lefty pitcher.
You got Peterson. You got the kid Peterson.
That's true. That's true. And then I think they just signed a reliever who I wasn't mad at that signing.
They signed a couple of relievers.
Yeah,
Right.
Trevor May is a good signing. He's a real good pickup.
Yeah.
Because if you don't trust Dellin to come back from that Achilles, which I don't think he was healthy last year. Come back from the Achilles is hard. But in case Dellin does falter, You got Trevor May. You can now keep Seth Lugo in the bullpen. Right now, the Mets bullpen
and Gelsman. I love Lugo and Gelsman. Leave those two guys who were former starters, and they seem to excel being relievers. Leave them there. Leave them there
for sure.
But I think Lugo, if given a chance, he can also start.
He could be a spot starter for you. He can definitely do that.
Yeah, that's about the best, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at him to be in the rotation.
Nah, me neither. Be perfectly honest. Yo, let's do some moving on. Let's go into the lane of boxing. Tomorrow night, in front of 1,000 people at Wembley Stadium. I think over here the fight will start at 2 p.m. Anthony Joshua putting his 3 heavyweight belts up against Kubrat Pulev. Okay.
First of all, it's people running around like this dude is nice. He's 39 years old.
That's one.
He's 28-1. He's only got 14 knockouts. And he's fighting Joshua, who I think Joshua has a bit of a chip on his shoulder now and has some more things to prove since he got put on his ass by Ruiz a while ago. And, we saw what he did to Ruiz in the second fight. And I think he's going to knock this dude out within 4 rounds.
Okay, let me just say this. I understand, and I'm inclined to agree. I'm not going to be picking an upset. No chance. I'm gonna give this guy. Pulev a puncher's chance. Okay.
Right.
He fought one of the Klitschko brothers. I think in his debut, perhaps. I don't know. It was something.
Right. And he took an L.
He took an L, but he was pushing Klitschko. No, he was. No, he was. Timeout. I gotta bring my brother in. Hold on. This is the man I was waiting for. My dude. What's up, Big Raj?
What's going on, player?
All right. This is my man Roger. We were good workers, good friends back in the day. You know what I'm saying? This is his debut on In the Paint. Thank you for
tuning in with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Yo, we get ready to talk about this fight with Anthony Joshua and this guy Pulev, and I was saying that it's Anthony Joshua. Let's keep it real. Okay. He may knock this guy out, but listen, before he fought Ruiz, before he fights this guy, did or did he not have a suspect jaw?
He does.
Okay, so with that,
he still does.
Yeah, you understand? So with that being said, man, I'm going to give this dude a puncher's chance. I'm inclined to think that Joshua will probably knock him out. He's 39. But don't sleep on this kid. He might get lucky and lay him out.
I'm not a Joshua fan. But when you say suspect jaw, it's like it's heavyweights. Like if he keeps getting hit, Ruiz kept hitting him. It wasn't like it was a 1-punch knockout. He outboxed him and he punished him, and then he put him on his ass. It's like
in the first fight.
Huh?
In the first fight, yeah.
In the first fight, but you saying that like he got a glass jaw? It's like it's heavyweights. They hit hard. He got hit hard a lot.
Hold on a second. Hey, Raj, if you got
talk to me.
Yeah, you got a lot of. I think you got a lot of background noise on you.
But yeah, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to move aside.
Okay, brother.
I'm moving around.
Okay, I got you, my dude. Thanks a lot, brother.
All right.
Like I said, I'm no Joshua fan. I'm no Joshua fan at all. Mm-hmm. But it's like it ain't like the Klitschko's where somebody just popped them on their chin and they collapse like a deck of cards. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that.
Well, no, it's similar. He been touched a few times in the ring.
Come on now, he has been. That's the fact.
Joshua been touched a few times. Besides Ruiz.
Yeah, he been on his back, bro.
Yeah.
We're not making this up, man. Come on, dude.
As his English countryman boxer, I forget the guy's name, said, he glassed me, mate. He glassed me.
I remember that. Hell yeah, man. I remember that, man. But I'm just saying, listen, hey, my man Raj, are you going to be watching this fight? I think it's tomorrow, 2:00.
Well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
Okay.
to watch it. I mean, I hope it's entertaining.
Right. We're gonna see. You know what I mean?
I
We
don't know.
definitely will.
It doesn't sound too entertaining.
Not really. Not really. It's kind of whack.
I think it'll be a
but-
good fight.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna try to watch it, man. I mean,
I'm
but
gonna
it sounds entertaining.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to watch it my damn self, man.
Listen.
I'm like, I don't know. I'll be at work. I'll be at work at that time, so I'll probably check it out. And I'll probably be at lunch as well. So I might check it out for an hour. Be like, okay, let's see what this is about. You know what I mean? So,
So
but
he's
this
fighting the cab driver. He's fighting the cab driver.
Pretty much.
yeah.
He's got to stay busy.
He's fighting the cab driver / street vendor, barber. You know what I mean? So that's what it basically is. So, and if he can't beat him, oh my God, I swear, if this guy Joshua does not win, if we do a show on Monday, you already know what's gonna happen. You already know.
He got to do more than just win, though. He's got to win convincingly. He
You
has
got
to
to knock him
make
out
Yeah.
within
It's got
4
to
rounds.
be 4 rounds or less. It's got to
Yeah.
be less. It's got to
It's
be 4
gotta
rounds
be.
or less. It's got to
It's
be a
already
beat.
decided. The fight is already decided.
How was the fight already decided, bro? What are you talking about?
The fight is already decided. Yo, he needs to look good. He needs to look good in this victory. Dude, this is probably some of the most money that he's ever made. What you need me to do? Third round? Okay, no problem.
Okay, I'm saying before the 5th.
We thought
You know
that
what I'm
about
saying?
Ruiz, though. Didn't we think that about Ruiz? How'd that
Well-
turn out for Joshua?
Well, no, I didn't, because I
Well,
watched
you didn't, but
Ruiz.
most people did. Most
I
people
watched
did.
Ruiz fight before, and
Right.
I figured Joshua would win. I didn't figure that Joshua would come in there and
Dude, that's it.
Ruiz put hands on him.
He did.
This guy ain't gonna
Right.
put hands on him.
All right, you better not.
That's because he laid off those tacos and whatnot that particular night.
Oh,
Oh, come on.
He did.
speaking of, can we do a little sidebar on Ruiz?
Oh, here we go.
Yo,
Go ahead, Mac.
Ruiz's trainer, his former trainer, because Ruiz fired him.
Right.
He said after Ruiz won, he said I couldn't find him.
Oh shit.
He
was
said,
somewhere eating. He was eating.
right. He said we set up times for him to get to the
Yeah.
gym. He said he came to camp late. He came to
Oh
camp
shit.
horrifically out of shape.
That, like I said,
So that's
you
what
can't.
happened.
Look,
And
listen.
I gotta give Chandler his props, because Chandler said, yeah, this dude gonna go party, he gonna go do this,
Yeah.
that, and the third.
Listen, I guarantee you, when he won that first fight, he left that arena and he couldn't even make it to Taco Bell. You know, they had those little
Oh, a truck?
the food truck, the taco truck.
Yes.
That's where he went. That's where he went. He couldn't even wait. He was so elated. He couldn't even wait to get to Taco Bell. He's like, fuck this. I'm going to the taco truck on the side. You know,
Listen, he hit the buffet in the hotel and he still had his gloves on. All right.
He said, no, Poppy. Wait.
Exactly.
You
I
cut the
know.
gloves off later.
So now you guys fat shaming people. Jeez.
No, we fat shaming him.
We can't give it him.
All right,
exactly.
well,
We're not fat shaming people.
before we go on, I'd just like to read the disclaimer.
We needed you Wednesday night, Bishop. We needed
Views
you.
and opinions expressed by the contractors here on In the Paint are not representative of In the Paint. These guys are contractors. These are their own opinions.
Screw that, bro. Screw that. Screw that.
We not fat shaming fat people. We fat
Exactly.
shaming him for coming in the ring
You know
looking
what?
like my
Wait
neighbor
a minute.
Julio.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. I'm tired of being nice. Okay, screw that. So what if we're fat shaming fat people? I mean, listen, this is 2020. Get ready to be 2021. Stop eating a lot of bullshit. Get on the fucking
Treadmill?
yeah, get on the goddamn treadmill like the rest of us.
No,
Join
I'm
the
not.
fucking party.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not
I'm
going to
with
stop
you,
eating
Chandler.
bullshit. I'm not going to stop eating bullshit. I'm not getting on the treadmill. Listen, I don't even walk my dog anymore. Okay, I just let her out in the backyard. All right.
Yo.
I'm with you, Chandler.
Jesus.
Every time I talk to Chandler, he about to cook something or he buying something.
There you go.
Nah, I'm joking.
He said,
It's called food therapy.
There you go.
listen, I'm gonna
Hey, Ron, I know we're nutcases, man. We're nutcases, bro.
eat because I'm
I love
unhappy.
it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's how we do it, man.
I love it, man. I mean, you know, I stop by the taco stand sometime myself.
We're just unfiltered here. That's just what it is.
Listen,
You know?
no, it is what it is, brother. It is what it is, man.
For sure, for sure.
It's just nice live sports talk. I love
Thank you,
it.
brother.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, brother. I appreciate your support always, man.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
brother. We're gonna talk about this other fight that's happening. This I think it's the same card if I'm not mistaken. Shakur Stevenson, lightweight 10-round.
No, it's a different card though.
Okay, my bad. Different. I'm embarrassed. Different card. Shakur Stevenson faces Toka Kahn Carry.
Who?
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Toka Kahn Carry. I never heard that guy before. In a lightweight 10-round battle.
Right.
Shakur-
Shakur's moving up in weight.
Really?
You know, he vacated his WBO featherweight championship and he moved up to junior lightweight partly because he wants bigger opportunities.
As well he should. As well he should.
You know, he wants to fight Tiafimo.
Mhm.
He wants to fight Lomo. He wants to fight those guys. So
No, he don't. No, he don't. No, he don't.
Wait, hold on. 'Cause y'all know boxing is not my thing, so I just, I fall back on it. But wait, who's fighting again? You got Shakur against Shaka Khan?
no, a little sister, Toka.
Okay. Oh, Toka. Okay, where are they fighting?
Toka Khan.
Where they
Toka Kahn,
fighting?
Toka Kahn.
Wakanda? Or something?
This guy, man.
You need to figure out how to keep making weight because those other fighters that you just mentioned is like
They hit hard. I know.
no, don't do it. That little pretty face he got, I kind of like
Pretty face.
Yeah,
he
he's a bit of a pretty boy.
yeah, he looked like Chris Brown with good hair. Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Which one?
Shakur.
Shakur? Oh.
Yeah,
Holy
he looked
shit.
like Chris Brown with the curly good hair.
Wow.
Yeah, you're not trying to get into the ring with those.
Wow.
You're not trying to get into the ring with grown men. Nah.
He's bringing light skin back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he does need some more experience. I think though, with more experience, I think he just looking at his skill set, he has the skill set, but I don't know if right now he could beat them simply because listen, when you go up against cats that have been doing that at that weight for a while, they just know some things that you don't. I mean, he's got under 20 fights still, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got 20, I believe.
If it's not less than 20, it's got to be 20. It can't be more than 20. I don't think so.
Yeah, but how many knockouts he got?
Lots. He's a knockout artist.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
but
good with
at
his
what-
hands.
At what weight? At what weight?
Weight lower than
More
he's
than
fighting
likely.
that now.
Yeah.
Probably featherweight.
Yeah,
Featherweight.
it's
You know what I'm saying?
different.
Probably featherweight.
It's different.
So, it may be. It may be. You know, like I said.
I don't think so. Shakur is that good. I've
Okay.
been watching him.
Okay, Mac. We're gonna see.
It was right for him to move up because he's a little stubby guy. So making that 120, making that featherweight weight was gonna be a problem for him anyway.
All right. We're gonna, like I said, we might have to come back to this conversation later on in the future and see. Well, you know what I'm saying, for real. We're gonna have to see about that, brother. You know?
It's always different when you step up in weight and when you're hitting people with what you used to,
For sure.
what you used
For
to
sure.
get people out of the ring with.
There's no
You're
question
hitting
about that.
people and they just like, okay, and
Mhm.
still stalking you down. Then it's like, well, wait a minute, this is what I signed up for.
Ask Roy Jones. Ask Roy
he's-
Jones about that.
Word.
Quite a few of them. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You already know the deal.
they're no
Well-
easy task. He's talking about what? Tiafimo and Lomo. It's like, nah, dude, you're not ready yet.
I
Yeah.
think he is. He's been fighting just as much as they have.
I don't know, man.
Who has he fought?
I'm about to tell you.
Nobody. If he can't remember it, there's nobody.
Nobody, yeah.
I just looked him up. I had to look him up to see what you were talking
Well, yeah,
about.
he hasn't fought anybody.
What I say?
You look like Chris Brown with curly hair.
He looked like the dude that shot Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh shit! Oh my god, y'all are stupid, man. Yo, listen, I gotta move on to this next one. This is going okay. Channel and I about to become enemies.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
You better get your popcorn ready. This is gonna be.
I'm coming for all of y'all. I'm coming for all of you.
We're not scared. We're not scared, brother. We're not
Oh,
scared.
here we go.
So with Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets being fined for violating the NBA media policy, Irving, also referred to media as pawns, makes backhanded references towards LeBron James recently. Once again, of course, what else is new? Got LeBron in his mouth always. Okay, let me just start off by saying this. Kyrie Irving is a fucking moron. Okay, I'll just start off like that. Because I want some missiles, I want some bombs to be thrown this way here, please. And Chandler, I know you're one to return fire quickly. You understand? And I have a problem with that. That's cool because we're gonna go back and forth on this. The man's an idiot. He's an idiot. And I don't care about the whole, oh, well, comedians trying to control the narrative. The man, he opened his fucking mouth. So if you open your mouth and say dumb shit, what do you think's going to happen? How's it going to be taken any other way? Sir, please. Okay, what the hell's that?
I don't know. That ain't me.
Not me.
Listen, is Bob Tubin on this call, man? Is Bob Tubin on this call?
Who?
The guy that got fired, what was it? The guy that got fired because he was out during the Zoom call at work?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
I know, right?
Mac, what you doing, Mac? What you doing, Mac?
I'm here. I'm here.
Holy shit. So wait a minute. I want to get this argument started. Chandler, go ahead, man. Let me hear your take on this whole Kyrie Irving situation.
See, the fact that you got me defending Kyrie Irving bothers the hell out of me.
No.
I know. That's
Okay,
why I thought
because here's the thing, right? When he said what he said before he went into the bubble, right? He was the one that got labeled as a malcontent, but nothing he said was wrong, right?
I agree.
Now, what he said about what he what he said, but we talking about what he said about the media today, all right, or what he said in his statement actually, all right, and what they cherry picked out of his statement actually. When he went after LeBron, and listen, he's been going after LeBron a while. Listen, his skill set on the court is beyond par. His teams will always lose if he's the main guy. We all know that, okay? He's a one-man show who ain't gonna win you a damn thing, but he gonna look good. He gonna look good losing. All right, he's gonna look really good losing. He gonna have some great numbers. Your team ain't going no damn where. We all get that. But what he said in the very beginning, I'm not talking to y'all because you're going to misconstrue or misrepresent everything I say. I didn't have a problem with that. But suddenly all these media people's in their feelings, right? So they got him fined. Okay, so then he said, and by the way, they are pawns because what they do is they drive a narrative, which is one is bullshit, two is designed to is clickbait. So why should I talk to you when no matter what I say, you're going to turn it into something so that you can get clicks to your site? I don't have a problem with what he said. My problem's with everybody who's going after him. Well, he should talk. He don't have to talk. All right. They want to find him. They find him. He put out a statement that should have been it. It wasn't good enough. So now we want to cherry pick the next statement because he called the media pawns. What exactly are they? You got these people who sit up here on these damn shows while you got college basketball games being canceled left and right. Okay, but they want to criticize these kids. Oh, these kids need to do this. But when you got Rick Pitino has a damn job again. Okay, the same people who are criticizing Kyrie Irving don't have a damn word to say about Rick Pitino, who should not be coaching college basketball. He shouldn't be near a college basketball court. Okay, because he's actually hurting young men with the way he lives and the way he teaches them. But they ain't got a problem with Rick Pitino, but they got a problem with Kyrie Irving. These same people that don't have a damn problem with some of the terrible people that they cover in these sports because, well, they gave me an interview. You got a problem with Kyrie Irving because he won't talk to you? That's why you got a problem with Kyrie Irving, because you don't like what he said about damn LeBron? Tell me the last time LeBron made a clutch damn shot. Okay? Tell me the last time he made a clutch shot. And I'm not knocking LeBron. I think LeBron's one of the best players who's ever played the game. But what he said about somebody making a clutch shot wasn't wrong. KD is better in the clutch than LeBron. KD is a better shooter than LeBron, so therefore he's going to be better in the clutch. That's just you can't dispute that. Okay,
Yes,
there's not a problem with going after LeBron.
Yes, I can dispute that. Let's go back to that OK when he was a member of OKC. Okay, and against Golden State, they was up 3-1. Why did they lose? Because he failed in the clutch. The best shooter
when LeBron lost against Dallas, and when LeBron lost to Dallas.
Here we go. Now we're going to compare apples to oranges, right?
Yes. No, it's not apples to oranges. LeBron's team should have won the series, and they lost the series, and he failed in that series. The series against the Celtics, he failed in that series against the Celtics. Guess what? Players have bad series and fail sometimes. KD had a bad series, and they failed. Okay. He's also won 2 playoff MVPs.
When he got to Golden State,
playing on the best team.
When he got to Golden State,
Chandler, they were up 3-1. 3-1.
Okay, why does Doc Rivers still have a job? He's lost 3-1 series leagues. Why does Doc Rivers still have a job? But everybody talking about Doc Rivers, though. Everybody talking about Doc Rivers.
We flamed Doc Rivers on this show. But you deflecting.
Can I jump in real quick though?
Please do.
Because here's the problem. It's not about what he said, and we can put up stats and all these other things. But here's the thing. I tell people all the time, because I work with kids, I say, you can say what you want, but you have to understand that other people are going to respond to what you say. And just because it's right doesn't mean that you have to say it. And the problem that I have with Kyrie is he may be 100% right in his take on LeBron or whatever, but he didn't need to say that. And when he said it, people reacted to that because it sounded like you were throwing a sub at LeBron James. So naturally, it's going to cause the media to pick up on that. There are how many players in the NBA, and they focus on the ones that are going to draw that. You talk about clickbait. Well, Kyrie will give it to him. So Kyrie said what he said. Let's not forget that he said what he said. Whether he was right or wrong is irrelevant. He said what he said, and that's what they responded to. And then when he didn't like the backlash, then he turns around and wants to call out the media. The media is going to write things. Kyrie is old enough. He's not a rookie in the league. He's old enough. He's been around the NBA for a few years now. He knows how it works. You know how the game works. If you give them a little bit, they're going to take it and write whole stories about it. It could be just the most minute thing in your mind, but that's what's going to happen. So I'm not going to give Kyrie a pass on this. I'm not going to make it about the media, and all the media does what they're going to do. But Kyrie should be smart enough and old enough to understand that if he puts stuff out there, they are going to be drawn to it. That's the issue I have. Whether or not LeBron is not as clutch as KD and all that is irrelevant to me. It is Kyrie is trying to now be a revisionist and try to make it sound like, well, I didn't mean that. They took me out of context and all that other. That's straight A bullshit to me.
Right. Hold on. Let me say this real quick. What he said about the media being pawns, I don't have a problem with, because they do what they do, like you said, David. But the NBA has a policy. You have to speak to the media. So you didn't want to speak to them, and you issued a statement on your Instagram. So you're going to get fined, and the Brooklyn Nets are going to get fined because they didn't make him aware, that, you still got to talk to them. Mm-hmm. And like you said, David, he threw a sub at LeBron, and we know you were talking about LeBron. You just didn't say LeBron. How do you say, well, with this team now with KD, and I'm paraphrasing because he might have said it might have been worded differently. This is the first time I feel confident in a player playing with me that'll make the winning shot. I didn't feel comfortable with others. Who are you talking about?
Exactly.
And can I chime in?
Go ahead.
Dominic, go ahead,
Can you hear
You can hear you.
What's up, Dave?
Sure.
Chandler went around the world in 80 days. I normally go at it with my boy Bishop, but Chandler went around the world in 80 days.
Right.
Because you know what? I happened to look up the word that Kyrie used, and in the Urban Dictionary, that word is considered fool. So you're sitting there calling people fools because you're the fool. Let's just be honest, Art, and I said this a million times. Kyrie Irving is an oxygen thief. The NBA should be paying him not to talk. And then I bet he'll talk because he's just one of those guys that goes totally against what everybody else is doing. Chandler can make all the points about college coaches. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Kyrie Irving and his history of just saying what he thinks he could say. And you know what, guys? If you look at the numbers between guys like Kyrie Irving, James Harden, there's a reason the NBA's ratings have been down for the last 7 to 8 years. People are tired of this nonsense. I want to watch basketball. You know, honestly, even though I'm a Knicks fan, I still watch basketball. I don't want to deal with all this other nonsense. You know, a guy that went to Duke for 6 months is smarter than everybody on this line. Really? Come on. You know, he's picking and choosing. Here's the funny thing, guys, and I'll stop. He don't want to talk to the media.
Right.
But he constantly talking. Yeah. So that's the part that just throws me for a loop. Just sit down and shut up. Because guess what? At the rate they're going, in 72 games, the Nets will have paid $1.8 million in fines for this fool not to just say hi. $1.8 million. May not sound a lot. Everybody will say, well, they're millionaires, billionaires, they own a team. But that's $1.8 million as of now. That fine goes up and up and up throughout the fines. So they could somehow spend $3 million on this guy just being himself, plus his salary. You know, it's time, and I know you're a newly adopted Net fan, but we saw this coming. We saw this coming. Let's just be honest.
This is why I don't. You know what? For all this talk about, and I know I'm going off a little bit on James Harden and whatnot for Kyrie, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And you're talking to a guy at the last show. I wish James Harden was dead. Yeah, okay, so I don't really mind it.
You missed that one. You missed that one.
Yeah.
The views and opinions expressed by the host of the show is not
why I said we needed you Wednesday night.
You know what? It's interesting how we say, well, he's picking and choosing, but we all want to pick and choose who we want to castigate for not talk to me or for whatever it is they say and things they do. Because you know what? Pat Beverly been running his damn mouth a long time talking about everybody and their mama. Okay? But since Pat Beverly ain't making X amount of dollars, we don't really care what Pat Beverly has to say. Even though he's an NBA player, he's a really great NBA player. Honestly, when you talk about defensively, can't score worth a damn. But listen, every time you talk Pat Beverly this and Pat Beverly glue, there's a whole lot of guys talking. But again, we want to pick and choose who we don't like because of what school they went to, or because of things they said, or because of this, or because of that. And that's not fine. I'm not talking about that. That's what you're missing.
You're missing the point, Chandler. We can say what we want about a Patrick Beverly, Billy Bob Thornton. We're talking about the NBA rule said you must be available for the media. Now, if you want to talk all of that, if you want to talk all that world is flat and the sky is pink, that's fine. You could say that. We may think you're nuts. But you can say that. But the NBA rules state you will talk to the media. So you choose not to, because it's always that way with him. Guys, again, Chandler could go around the world in 80 days. I still love Chandler. Don't get it twisted. I still love him. But you're going around the world in 80 days, but you're avoiding the elephant in the room. That the rules say it's like going to work, guys. If they say punch in at 8 o'clock and you don't punch in at 8 o'clock and you get over, until you don't get over, God bless you. I'm not knocking your hustle. Go for it. But when the day comes where they say, you're clocking in every day late, this is a warning. Don't sit back and say, well, you know, I've been doing it for 3 years, like telling on yourself.
Right.
You know, really? I mean, ain't we grown men? I mean, God bless you. If you can do it, do it. But it don't work in the real world.
I feel you.
So the problem here and what you guys I think are missing is like there's some people in this world that love attention. It doesn't matter if it's negative attention. Most people like positive attention. They like the positive attention. They like the affirmation of, here, and people adore me and they like my game or whatever. But some people, it doesn't matter whether the attention is negative, positive. They just like attention. So everything that Kyrie does is to get attention. I need to stand out from all of the other players. I need to say something so that people look at me, so that people pay attention to me. So I don't believe half the stuff that he says he even believes, but it gets people talking about Kyrie. It gets people talking about Kyrie, and he's okay with that. So for you to come out of left field and make all of these statements about you have not even played 1 minute on the court with KD. You haven't even been in a foxhole with KD. You haven't even been to a war with KD, and you testifying for him and saying this and saying that and throwing unveil or veil pot shots at LeBron or whatever. It's just to get attention. He likes the attention. This is not his first year in the league. This is not his first year in the league. He's done media day. What are you upset about on media day? You haven't even played. There hasn't even been one missed shot. There hasn't been one hog the ball. There hasn't been a bad game, a bad shooting performance. What are you mad about? What are you throwing? What are you hating about on media day?
It's facts.
On media day. That's like, what did Cat Williams say, Bishop? Some people wake up mad and they didn't even have breakfast. You're mad at breakfast. What are you mad about at breakfast? If I could coin Cat Williams breakfast. Really?
He's one of those guys that likes attention, and it doesn't matter if it's negative attention or whatever, because this is not new. It's like you've spoken to the media before media day. You know the rules. You know what it is. So even if you came out and they asked you a question and you did a Ron Artest. So what do you think about the season, your chances of winning the title or whatever? Well, the weather's nice outside, and I'm looking forward to the sunny days that the forecast. The weather said that it's going to be 60 degrees, and the next you're not even answering the question, but you're talking to the media.
Right.
So exactly. Do the Marshawn Lynch. The beach mode.
I'm about to say that. Yo, hold on for a second. Let me get my man Big Raj. You've been soaking all this in, man. I see you. Yo, listen, jump in anytime, brother, because you had your own little deal, bro. Come on, man. I know you
listen, I mean, all the brothers there have a good topic about the Kyrie statement. I think Kyrie is like Antonio Brown from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's just a point guard diva, in the basketball level. I just feel like, what the brother said, he wants to be seen. It's just that Kyrie is not like how Antonio is, beating up his ex-wife and all the crazy stuff that he be doing out there and, messing up with police. I just feel like I just think the whole thing with Kyrie playing with Durant is gonna be bad. You're gonna hear that about James 20 that they got beef.
Right.
Because Kyrie is chemistry with everybody else ain't good. It's just not gonna be good. He already got problems with the rest of the other players on the team, so I don't see that team even progressing. I feel we'll be hearing trade talks about middle season. Trust me.
If you listen to all the statements, that Kyrie is making, he pretty much setting KD up for failure.
I agree.
He pretty much setting KD up for failure. Oh, he's this, he's that. He making KD out to be a Superman.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's not Superman. And
don't get me wrong. I don't think he's gonna listen to Steve Nash. I really think he's gonna try to take over.
He pretty much said that a couple of weeks ago. He said,
we all know that.
I could coach. KD can coach.
Yeah.
such and such can coach, and
So-
Nash can coach. We all
So
can
basically, he's slapping Steve Nash in the face. Basically,
That was why they got rid of Kenny Atkinson. That was
Yeah.
why Atkinson got fired.
Right.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Atkinson got fired
But
because
see, that one thing.
coaching
See,
style is no
that's the
longer
thing.
relevant.
It's two separate conversations. As I've said, I have no faith in Kyrie Irving ever being part of a winning team. Right? I don't. But
Right.
You faded out, Chandler.
Uh-oh. He did the Max 611 special. All right. The Max 611 special.
Wow.
Shout out.
I think I'm
David
frozen.
Bishop,
Yeah.
don't feed into him. Be good, my brothers. Thank you. I love you.
Did
I
the
love you
special.
both.
Am I
the
frozen?
Yeah, you was. Yeah, now you back, man.
You back?
You got
You okay, Chandler?
you're defrosted now.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You know?
Yeah, I'm going in and out for some reason. I must have Max internet. I must have Max
Hey.
internet.
Oh,
Hey, we just had this conversation. There will be none of that.
the last thing we heard
We
you say,
got a
Chancellor,
we got a
was
we
that
got a
were
guest
all
here,
right.
and y'all doing this to me.
Right. First impressions.
Exactly.
No, go ahead, Chandler.
Yeah.
And okay, there you go. Good, brother.
He's talking. I can't
Yeah.
hear him though.
I can't hear him either.
I hear him, but I can't hear him. He sounds like he's talking like a room away from the mic.
Pretty much.
He's just angry that we ain't agree.
He is
Can he
angry.
hear us?
What you say,
I don't think he
Bishop?
can.
The
I
views
said he went
expressed
into
on
the-
this. The views
He went
expressed on this program.
Yeah. It's
I
over.
don't think he, yeah, he
Especially the
can't hear
host.
us.
Especially
Oh,
the
what?
host.
I
Hold on.
only.
Hold
I
on.
only.
We didn't hear
Well, we
you.
couldn't hear you. I thought you were
Oh.
demonstrating how Kyrie should handle media day.
No, what I was saying was we all understand that Kyrie's not a winning player. We all get that. But I personally, and all knows this, I'm never going to side with the media against any player. Unless, of course, that player done put his hands on somebody he ain't supposed to, and that's a whole different conversation. But when it comes to somebody not talking to the media, I'm always going to support the player because so many people that are in the media aren't journalists anymore. All they're looking for is to up their brand, and they'll do it at the expense of these same players who they feeding off of. That's the only reason I'm defending Kyrie in this, because Kyrie is not a winning player. We know that. Listen. When they got Kenny Atkinson fired because Kenny Atkinson wanted to run a full practice, that told me all I need to know about him. That's going to be the best drama on network TV this season is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Steve
I agree.
Nash comes off as a real nice guy,
Yeah, he's Canadian.
and I don't think that bodes well when you got KD, you got Kyrie, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, who just he's still running his mouth. Yo, he said the other day, he said he signed a below market value contract, and then he said something about them trading him. And I'm like, dude, why'd you sign a below market value contract?
Right.
You sound stupid now.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And
This is my
then
team.
you got DeAndre Jordan. It's gonna be fun watching them. And
Oh boy. This is so
told you.
bad.
Mac, didn't we say this over the summer, Mac? And everybody was saying, yo, shut up. You don't know. You don't understand. I was like, yo, you think you hit the jackpot? You didn't hit no jackpot. This is going to be like Days of Our Lives.
as the Brooklyn Nets turn.
As the flat
team.
world turns.
This is my team too. This is my team. It could be.
Looking forward to it.
You know what's funny though? Kyrie has played in markets where the media isn't like New York's.
No.
You played in Cleveland. Their media is real soft, laid back.
Right.
Boston, little more turned up. You in Brooklyn now. You in New York.
Yeah, for real.
Daily News, Post, New York Times, Newsday are gonna tear your ass out the frame.
Oh God.
But
He will be
knows the
taught.
New York. He
He
knows
said
the
he-
New York
He
media.
said
will
will
be
be-
taught.
He's from Jersey. He knows
Right,
the
so
New
he
York
should
media.
know.
You should know.
Yeah. This is not somebody that didn't have a clue. I'm just saying. I hear you, Chandler. I definitely hear what you're saying. But this stuff is self-inflicted. And what Kyrie does is he says something stupid, and then when people respond to it, he doesn't like the backlash. That's the problem. Right. It's not about pitting him against the media. I don't give a damn about the media. But I'm saying that you can't call them out and make it sound like they did something to you when you provided them with all the ammunition.
Well, who said he doesn't like it? Who said he doesn't like it?
Yeah, that's the other point. If that's what he likes, I'm like,
he likes it.
If he wants to be a diva, then let James Harden buy him a Prada bag.
Wow. Scathing.
Yeah.
Leave James Harden alone. Leave James Harden alone. He ain't got nothing to do with it.
Why? James Harden being just as much of a diva as Kyrie Irving is, except he ain't saying nothing.
No, he's not.
Listen,
I agree.
You set up the coach. You trying to set up the coach to fail.
Right. No.
You out there. I want to go to parties and all this other
not wear masks.
Training camp. Now you got to get 6 consecutive tests. So in the meantime, while this coach is trying to install his system, that might include you not dribbling for 45,000 minutes before you get to shoot. All right. Now you sitting in there talking, well, I'm out of shape now, and I gotta. And wait, I'll go to Milwaukee. Or listen, man. First of all, Milwaukee don't want you because Giannis passed over your ass when he was drafted All-Star team. He said you don't.
They got beat, so Giannis don't want him.
And Philly is not gonna be stupid enough to give up Ben Simmons and keep you and Fat Boy Embiid. So where you gonna go, bruh?
Yo, first. Let me just say, if I may interject here.
You can circumcise your wisdom on the subject, brother.
Okay, all right, okay, I feel you. So if I may pull back the foreskin, elaborate.
Here we go.
Wait a minute.
Because when you go prophylactic,
okay.
Time out. The views expressed by the bishop are not really supported here by In the Paint, so I'm calling a personal foul.
So I want you guys to understand something. Everybody is like jumping on James Harden's back. Like James Harden didn't dictate the style of basketball that they played in Houston. He followed D'Antoni's system. That's the system that D'Antoni implemented.
Okay,
and
true.
He was an instrument of that system.
I agree.
It wasn't like he said, "Hey, I'm only playing this way." That's how D'Antoni likes for his teams to play. So he did it to the best of his ability, and he thrived in that system.
Okay.
If he's playing someplace else, he won't be playing like that because that's not that system. If you watch James Harden play, James Harden, there's nothing that dude can't do on the court. And if it was so easy to score in the NBA, why aren't there more players averaging 34 points a game if it was so easy to score? I'm confused.
Can I ask you a question, brother?
Absolutely.
I don't know if he can play without the ball in his hand, though. He's not that type of guard. But he's a ball dominant guard. He's a ball dominant guard. He needs the ball majority of the time in his hands for him to do something. I can't see him in a pick and roll type of offense where he has to move around to get a shot. He needs that ball in his hands.
So you don't think in Philly, Mac and I had this conversation, you don't think if he is teamed up with Embiid and he and Embiid are running the pick and roll, you don't think that's unstoppable? You don't think that's unstoppable?
No. Not with him and Embiid. Yeah, I definitely think it's unstoppable.
I think so. You can't double team either one of them. And James Harden, whether people realize it or not, James Harden is a supreme. He's a cerebral basketball player, and he's not like in that system. He had to play that way, but he's capable of playing any kind of way that you want him to play. He did it in
off the ball.
Then why didn't he show up? Because you know what? You're willing, and see, and again, I keep going back to this. Everybody's willing to give Steve Nash and all of these new coaches that are white, they willing to talk about their championship aspirations, but you're talking about because Steven Silas, who's been around for 20 years, And it's hard enough for a black man to get a coaching job in the NBA, but you ready to screw him over and sabotage him. Listen, James Harden, miss me with James Harden right now, man. Miss me with James Harden right now.
Is Silas still a coach? Is he still a coach?
He won't be for long with the way James Harden is doing things.
Whoa. The coaching is not based on whether a player is or not. A coach is based on the merit and skill set that he brings to the team, not because
no, that's not true.
Not because he has a all-star player or a supreme player. No.
True. That is not true because listen, there was no way in the world that Mike Brown should have ever been a coach. Okay, the only reason he had a job was because of LeBron James. Let's be clear. There's some coaches who only have their jobs because of the star player on that team, and there's some coaches who wind up getting screwed because of the star players on that team. As Paul West said about that, him and Magic. All right. And I'm not saying it was a bad move, but Magic said, yo, he got to go. Westhead went. What I'm saying is Steven Silas has waited 20 years for his shot. The least James Harden could do is show up, all right, under that 3-year contract that you just signed, all right? And if you want to get traded, show up, help that young man, because he's younger than me, so I can say young man, when his first coaching opportunity, okay, who put in his work, all right, who put in the work to get that job and got passed over multiple times. Show up and don't screw him. And then he'll help you get the hell up out of there. But instead, you bent over backwards for Mike D'Antoni, but you won't do it for Steven Silas. I got a problem with that.
So the flip side of that is, Steven Silas is a new head coach. It's not like James Harden has played for him. It's not like he's played for him before. He's a new head coach. It's a new situation for him. He's never coached James Harden one game in his life. So how does this hurt him? I don't understand.
Hold on, Bishop. I gotta answer your question. It hurts him because it's the start of training camp. I'm a new coach. I want me and my star player should be we should be in lockstep together. That's bad business on James Harden. But we know why James Harden is doing that, because he wants to leave Houston. Yeah. And let me say this, Chandler. Paul Westhead had to go.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. But I'm just saying that in the NBA now, we all understand that star players dictate coaching jobs. Okay, the reason Kenny Atkinson don't have a job is because of the star players on his team. Kenny Atkinson, now you can say Kenny Atkinson might not have been the right coach for that team, but Kenny Atkinson should have kept his job if management had told them to shut the hell up, but management wasn't going to do that. My point is that Steve Nash walks in there, and now we talk, we got championship aspirations and bibbidi bobby boo. Steve Nash ain't coached nothing over girls soccer, okay, in his daughter's soccer league.
But who's saying that?
12 and under, all right?
Yeah.
So I mean, again, I'm not feeling James Harden right now. Because here's the other piece. They've given you, look at all the players they moved in and out of Houston because of James Harden. He said, I want Dwight Howard. Then he said, I don't want Dwight Howard. Then he said, I want Chris Paul. Then I don't want Chris Paul. I want Russell Westbrook. I don't want Russell Westbrook. They bent over backwards in that organization the entire time he's been there to give him the players he wants. Okay, players. He said, I want to play with this guy. So they moved heaven and earth to give him that guy. And then he said, well, I don't like playing with that guy. I want to play with another guy.
Do you know that for sure?
Well,
they had to get the okay from him to bring those people in. They consulted with James.
Was it personnel decision? Was he responsible for making personnel decisions, or was that a coaching?
Not all of them, Bishop. Not all of them, but they did consult with him. You know that. They said, "Yo, James, we about to bring your boy in."
Yeah, they have to.
Okay.
Well, I don't
Because
know
they wanted to play
the thing is, guys, and I don't want to. Bishop and Chandler are taking us around this racetrack, but again, the elephant in the room is James Harden. We can say what we want. Who benefited more from them putting that system in for his benefit? And when you say somebody's scoring 30 points a night, Bishop, well, if a guy's holding the ball for 22 damn seconds per possession, he better be scoring, because when you dish it out with 2 seconds left, you're wondering why everybody else is shooting 20% from the field. It's because you're holding the ball and you're giving it up in desperation. But they bent over backwards for him.
Right. He also got a good coach fired in Kevin McHale.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You benefited from this. Now all of a sudden you don't like the franchise. Why?
Right.
Because you feel things are going to change, and now you want to bail out. Here's the funny thing,
$40
guys.
million a year.
I was going to say that, Mac. You're under contract, but this is the new NBA, guys. I don't like R. Okay, R. I'm not playing with you no more. Find me another sandbox to go to. Really?
Exactly.
You're under contract. Whatever happened to
Can I say something to Chandler for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Chandler, I agree with you, but these new NBA players ain't like the old players that we grew up with. I don't really think they really care about black coaches that been there, that paved their way.
Some of them
to become. I don't think that most of them do. I don't think they respect that. I mean, I've been watching even with the NFL. I feel the same way. I don't think they respect that. I don't feel they respect that a brother that's coming in, been there, coaching, assistant head coach, and this is their opportunity. Let me give this brother a chance. Let me be on this team, and let's do something. I don't think these guys have it in them like that. That's just my opinion.
So you know what, brother? Also, it depends. Paul Silas has no relationship with Paul Silas's son. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Steven Silas doesn't have a relationship with James Harden. Therefore, James Harden is like, yo, is he like his father? His father was a tough-minded dude. Oh shit, he gonna make me play defense. he gonna make me eat better because James Harden is on the
heavy side.
Yeah, he one biscuit away.
I was
he ain't on no Slim Fast diet. But to the young man's point, now what's the difference with Kyrie pulling this on team after team? If it's a white coach, a black coach, we could put the color in it. But these guys are doing it to organizations, guys. They're not doing it because Mac is too black or Mac's father was too black and too tough. They're just throwing this get out of jail. I don't want to be here no more. You guys know my background. I wish I could have said I didn't want to be some of the damn places I was at. But you know what? I had to put my head down and charge on. But these guys know what they're doing now, guys. Let's just be honest. I hate to say don't knock the hustle, but I hope he don't get traded because this could be a turning point that you ain't dictating to us what you do anymore. The wheels are coming off the bus right now. You have a contract. I don't give a damn how unhappy you are.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
Why not what? Why not what, Bishop?
Why can't he control his own destiny? Why can't player empowerment take the forefront?
He can.
You know what?
He can. When he's a free agent.
When management would hold these guys hostage and burn out their careers, not give them the help, and only use them for ticket sales, and by the time when they all broken down or whatever, ship them off after they've given blood, sweat, and tears to this organization, everybody was okay with that. Now the pendulum has swung.
But you signed up for that.
Okay, and so what? So what? If Houston is paying him his $40 million a year, or whatever it is, or somebody Philly is paying him his 40-something million a year, who cares? As long as I'm getting my $40 million a year, I don't care where it comes from.
You can't disrupt the system, Bishop.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, exactly. You sound like so many people in the media now with this player empowerment. You have the empowerment. Why are you signing 4 or 5 contracts? How do you think LeBron did this? Signing those 1 plus 1 plus 1 contract. You have that option. Why would you sign a 5-year contract? You know why? Because you're going to get $220 million off that 5-year contract. And now all of a sudden you get your panties in a bunch. You want to whine like a little baby. You had that opportunity to say, I'll take a 1-year deal. That's player empowerment. You're putting yourself in that boat. You want that $220 million. And I know we're going to get to it with the next topic. Well, you get hurt, you get hurt. then if you feel that way, then you might not want to sign with, let's say, that organization for 4 or 5 years. You still have player empowerment. You can't have it both ways. You can't have player empowerment and then say to hell with the contract. This ain't the NFL.
Why not?
Let's just be honest. You could sign that 1 plus 1 and have a 2-year contract.
Give me a good reason why not.
Why would you do that?
What's the good reason why not?
Well,
So, Bishop, let me ask you this.
Yeah, Bishop. What I'm getting at, you're throwing out that player empowerment.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. You're doing the max on me.
We hear you.
We hear you. Hey, Bishop,
We
I
hear
want
you,
to
Bishop.
ask you this. Remember when Charles Barkley, after Doc retired, after Moses Malone left, or got traded, rather, after Maurice Cheeks got traded, was it cool for him to go to the media and scream on everybody from the owner to other players to coaches and then force his way to Phoenix? And then when he got to Phoenix, after a while, he was like, yo, I don't want to be here either, blah, blah, blah.
Well, which
Let me finish. Forced his way to Houston, right?
yes.
Then he gets to Houston, yo, I don't like this offense. I don't like Dream. I don't like Scottie Pippen. I don't know why he handling the rock. I don't like Clyde. And then he retired. Was that right?
Again, this is why I laugh when he talks crap, when some of these other dudes talk crap. It's like this is a succession of the shit that was going on prior to. This ain't new. And it's
Right.
like, again, why not? Why can't I sign the contract and then say, hey, I want to go someplace else? I talked to you about it, and you refused to act on it. So now I act an ass so that you got to trade me, and you're not going to get as much for me. You're not going to get as much for me as you would have if you'd have just respected my wishes.
If you signed a contract.
If you would just, so what?
Right.
So what?
You signed
So
a contract.
You can't say so what. You can't say so what, Bishop. If you
Is he still
sign
gonna,
a
is he still going to get
contract,
paid money? Is he still going to get paid his money?
that's
Yeah.
not the
No matter who
point.
pays him?
But now
No
you
matter
got
who
it. Now you're putting you're putting the onus on somebody else. Where can they unload a $40 million contract? What can they get back for that $40 million contract? The common denominator in this is you signed that contract. You signed it. So in other words, with your player empowerment. Go ahead. I'm sorry, R.
No, it's all good. Time out. I want you guys to just, after your comment, I just want you guys to address some commentary we had in the chat room real quick. So go ahead, Dominic, finish your thought, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, if you keep doing that, we know it's happened in the past. But if you keep doing it, and then all of a sudden now an owner decides to say, you know what, you signed the contract. Again, there's other options here. You don't have to sign a 5-year contract. You don't have to sign a 4-year contract. And in his case, you signed that contract and they gave you everything every step of the way. And now you're like, well, gee, I don't want to be in Afghanistan no more. I want to go to Iraq. You know, I mean, where do you draw the line, Bishop? I mean, think if everybody in the NBA did that, then everybody would be on 2 or 3 teams.
Everybody can't do it. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody can't do it. And if select few that can do it, why not?
Yep.
Why not?
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, one of our guys, John Smash Davis, put some stuff up there. Why does he need to stay in the rebuild? He also put this one up there too just recently. If they traded him, they would have got max value.
Boom.
No,
Yeah, but here's the thing. He doesn't need to stay in a rebuild. He doesn't need to stay in a rebuild. But here's the thing. My problem with Harden is if Harden hadn't been given everything he asked for, if it was a situation where he was one of those, guys that did his job, this, that, and the other, and the organization kept screwing him, but he signed a long-term deal with Frank's like, listen, I'm tired of this. Sort of like an Anthony Davis situation. Yeah, he was under contract, but they also kept failing to put pieces around him. Says, you know what? Y'all ain't trying to win. I got to go. I don't have a problem with that. And that's where I agree with Bishop. And that, listen, I don't care what I signed. Y'all ain't doing right by me. So guess what? Get me up out of here because y'all not trying to win. Because all organizations are not trying to win, and we all understand that. There's someone that's just looking to make money. Every professional franchise is not trying to win. They're trying to make money. Okay. And I would agree with Harden in that. But because Harden has been given player after player after player after player after player after player after player based on what he wanted to fit his needs. I just want him I just want him to show up, play half the season, and get traded. That's all I'm asking.
Was it his system or was it D'Antoni's system?
It's D'Antoni's system.
Okay, so why does everybody keep saying it was Harden? What Harden wanted? It's D'Antoni.
It's not what Harden wanted. It's what D'Antoni wanted. Let's keep it real.
Exactly my point. So why is everybody putting all the responsibility on James Harden's shoulders? If I don't want to be there, I don't care how many players you brought in here for the system.
Because he's a face of the franchise.
Let me ask you a question.
And he publicly went after Dwight Howard when Dwight Howard said he publicly did that. Come on, man.
Right. He publicly got Mikhail fired. Go ahead,
if James Harden didn't like if James Harden didn't like Mike D'Antoni's system, why ain't he do last year what he's doing this year?
Right.
Who said he didn't like it? Who said he didn't like it?
Because he benefited from it. He benefited from it. He didn't say a word. That's
Can
what
I
I'm
say
getting
something?
at. We can't. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I personally don't like James D'Antoni.
Okay.
He's an offensive coach that doesn't have a clue about defense. Defense with championships. So the hiring of him and the chances he had with the Knicks and with the Lakers and with Houston, I don't know. I mean, he's good with offensive players, but he's not a good coach. I'm just just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh man, I tell you,
so you're blaming James Harden for Mike D'Antoni's coaching system that Houston bought into. So somehow, because James Harden benefited by playing in that system, by playing in the D'Antoni system, that he should be.
Jesus Christ!
What I'm saying, he should be.
No, I'm not blaming him.
He should be held.
I'm not blaming him, brother. I'm not blaming him. But you see the failure with James D'Antoni style of offense. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, and we never got close with that system when Steve Nash and Stoudemire was there. So I know by experience that doesn't work. That offense doesn't work. When you get to the second round in the NBA playoffs, it becomes serious. It becomes a half-court situation. No matter what it is, that offense does not work. It's good in regular season, but when you come to crunch time, it doesn't work. That's all I'm saying.
Bought into it. And the Houston organization bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. And now you want James Harden to be Amistad. You want him to stay there. You want him to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Just because
he's us free.
Just because he signed a contract.
Give us
multiple things can be true. Multiple things can be true. It can be true that James Harden kept asking for different players. It can also be true that the organization bought into D'Antoni. It can also be true that he can be faulted for how he's handling the situation. It can also be true that he has a right to want to leave. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. Okay, James Harden did publicly go after teammates that they got rid of based on things he said. He got a coach fired because he said that coach didn't know what the hell he was doing. Okay, He got Kevin McHale fired. That's public knowledge. You can look it up. You can Google it. Okay, those are all facts. Okay, those are all facts that he did that. It's facts that he said out of his mouth that after D'Antoni was let go, he said, well, I didn't really like playing in that system. He said that. Nobody said that for him. He made that statement. You don't get to make that statement, okay, that you didn't like playing in the system and then not show up when there's going to be a new system, okay? Pick a lane. Pick a lane, bro. Just pick one.
Here's the yin and the yang to that, guy, since we're Googling stuff. Who was the coach when he signed that extension? Mike D'Antoni.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, you're talking about player empowerment. If you don't like a system that you're saying this now that the wheels are off the cart, you're saying this now. But again, I go back to you signed that max extension while who was the coach? It wasn't Arm. It wasn't.
Did he win
McHale.
an MVP with that system, though? He won an MVP with that system.
Scoring titles.
Thank you.
So if he said
all right, so you don't like the system, but you won an MVP with it.
Who said that? Who said it?
No, I'm just saying that he won MVP with the system.
That was
He won MVP with, right?
Who said that he didn't like the system? Who said that?
James Harden said it.
Well, he's a liar.
James Harden said it.
He's a liar.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me say,
You let the league. Wait a minute. You let the league in scoring. You led the league in scoring for the last 3 or 4 seasons. You've been number 2 in MVP voting. Number 2 in MVP voting. You haven't won a championship, but you've accomplished all of the individual accolades that you can accomplish. And you got a max contract. You got a max contract out of your skill set, and you're telling me that you don't like it. That's not. That can't be. That's not.
He wants to play in a system where he could play beautiful basketball.
Well, now maybe he's tired. Maybe he's tired now. Maybe he's tired.
Well, he needs to be traded just for putting honey buns in a Prada bag.
Thank you, David.
Oh man,
ain't gonna be no honey bun slander now. Wait, was it iced honey buns or the plain honey buns?
Yeah, I don't know. I could go for one right now, though.
Oh my God, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Yo.
We're gonna move on.
Okay.
We gotta move
on. Before you move on, I unfortunately I have to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna turn it over to the great Maxis 11.
Man. We didn't get R off the rails tonight.
Nah, you have to wait till Monday. Monday.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the show.
Have a good one, brother.
Listen,
I'm gonna holler at you offline.
For sure, brothers. Thank you for calling. My man Raj, stay with treat my man Raj good, man. Treat him good. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, brother.
You know what I mean? All right, no doubt. And peace to all the chat. All right, brothers. Take care.
All right.
Moving along, the LA Clippers. Paul George, he gets a 4-year, $190 million extension, and he states the Clippers organization, the Clippers fans, they deserve a trophy from him. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
He said he owes them a title, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he said. I owe you a title.
Yep, I owe you a title.
Paul George is making $43.5 million a year.
Good. Lord.
If you don't think life is good, I had this conversation with somebody today, and they brought it up, not me. I'm not getting political. They said Harris and Biden won the Time People of the Year, haven't done nothing. Yeah. And I said, well, shit, Paul George got $43.5 million. He ain't done shit either. So where do we draw the line with this? I mean, the Clippers, I'm not even going to say much. They got to be crazy. But I think I know what they're doing. And if it backfires, they're really going to be in a world of hurt. Remember, Kawhi's contract ends next year. So now are they going to try to, smooth him over? Well, he signed the max. You're the guy that actually made us go get him. What happens if Kawhi turns his back and says, well, man, you know what? I ain't built for this.
And you know what? Dom, he doesn't say much. He doesn't say much to the press. He doesn't say much to the organizations he's with. He might just leave, and then they look like Boo Boo the Fool because now they stuck with Paul George and the other people they re-signed. Because they gave some other people money. They re-signed Reggie Jackson. They re-signed one of the Morris brothers.
Wrong one.
So, and we spoke about this a couple of shows ago. Paul George is making excuses left and right and throwing this one and that one under the bus in the media. He needs to be held accountable. And his statement puts a bullseye on him.
Yeah. So if you make it if you get an opportunity to make $43 million a year for the next 4 years, you'll be an idiot not to take it. That's number one.
Of course.
It's not about him. It's not about him taking it. It's about them giving it to him.
But again, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. And it's not like they're losing anything. And on top of it, it's like, I'll say whatever I need to say. If you're going to pay me $190 million for the next 4 years, it doesn't mean I have to deliver it. I can say it. He said that he wanted to be a Pacer for life. He said he wanted to be a OKC Thunder player for life. He said he wanted to be a Clippers player for life. So you give him $190 million, yeah, I'm going to retire here. It doesn't make any sense to me that Kawhi would leave if this is where he wants to be, and this is where he forced his way to.
Right. They both wanted to be home. They both from LA. They both want to be in LA.
So even if they don't win a championship, Kawhi has 2 already, and I still get my money. It doesn't matter. It's guaranteed money. What am I mad about? What am I mad about?
We're talking about the organization making a bad move. I mean, we can criticize organizations for making bad moves, and this is a bad move for the organization. This smells like something the owner got involved in. This smells like an owner move to me, not a general manager move. This smells like an owner move.
So let me ask y'all this: y'all wouldn't have extended him?
Of course,
absolutely not.
Of course, you would have.
No.
He's a listen. We could say
you're asking me. I'm saying no.
We could say what we want about Paul George not showing up in the playoffs or whatever, but he is a star player. He is a multifaceted player. He's very talented. He is a star.
So he's the highest paid player in the NBA right now.
Good.
Where's the pecking order in this?
He's not a franchise player though, Mac. He's not a franchise player.
Exactly.
I agree with y'all on that.
So no, you don't extend him. Now maybe you talk to him and say, listen, let's start throwing around some numbers. Let's start talking parameters of a deal. But you understand that we need to see more from you. We need you to be more of a leader. We need more of this. You understand what I'm saying? If you want it now, if they went that route, okay, they sat down with him and they said, we need more of everything from you. But we willing to go down the road with you. We willing to keep you here forever. And maybe he's a really good interviewer. Okay. Maybe he's that guy who does really well in the interview, but then when you give him the job, don't know a damn thing. Maybe that's how it went down. But there's no way I extend Paul George if I'm running a franchise right now until he at least shows me that he can be competent in the postseason. You don't even have to take over and dominate. Just be competent.
All right. Can he go back to Indiana? He was competent there. No. They didn't win it all, but he was pretty good in the playoffs there.
But I'm not running Indiana. I'm running the Clippers.
I know.
Right. To what Channel is saying, would it have been wrong if the Clippers would have said, we're going to hold off because you still have 1 year left.
Right.
We're going to hold off on this extension. And if you don't produce, then we're either going to come back with a lower number or you could take your talents elsewhere. And now I ask you guys the question. What team in the NBA is going to pay him $43.5 million to be an Alfred? Not a Batman,
you know what?
not a Robin.
That's the market.
Alfred.
It's the market.
Not for that, Mark.
It's the
he's
market.
Not even a top 20 player.
I agree with you, but it's the market. Whether they decided to let him twist in the wind and negotiate at a later date, he still would get that money somewhere else.
He wouldn't have got 40 million.
43 million, Mark.
He wouldn't have got 40.
No,
yes, he
would.
No,
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you, Mark, I agree with you, Mac. But one of the things that I think we kind of like missing is like the owners are not. He's not losing any money because he's paying them 190 million over 4 years. He's not losing any money, and whether you like his playoff performance or not, during the regular season, he's a supreme talent.
Yeah, so like the brother said in the chat,
for all the complaints that he was he choked in the postseason or whatever, during the regular season he was like lights out on both ends. On both
MVP candidate.
Yeah, on both ends of the court. And this is consistent. This is consistent. It's just not in the playoffs. So
but now you got people in the NBA world, Bishop. You're an NBA guy. They constantly feed us during the season. The regular season don't mean nothing. It's all about the playoff. It's all about the championship. You know, you could be a 22 a night guy, but you can't be Alfred when Batman needs help. You know, we're skipping over Robin. He's Alfred. He's the guy answering the phone when the chips are on the line. Let's just be honest, guys. I'm not talking bad about him. Just going by what he has done in the past.
Let me say this.
Hold on. Go ahead, David, and then you go, Chandler. Go ahead, David.
You know, so I'm not mad at anybody getting their money. You know, you get your money if you can. But my thing is, we can't say that. Well, on the one hand, he's a MVP candidate, and then dismiss that he didn't do well, that he didn't show up in the postseason. If he's the one that's talking about, I owe LA a championship, they deserve a trophy. He's the one taking it to the postseason. He's not talking about LA deserves an MVP candidate for the regular season. He put that out there about a trophy. So this is what he has set the bar that he's going to be judged by. So he's essentially saying, I'm taking this $190 million extension over 4 years because I think that the LA Clippers deserve a trophy, and that means that I am going to do what I can to make sure that they get a trophy. Now, if they don't get it, things happen. It's sports. Nothing's a given. But he put it out there that this is what you should be. Judge my $190 million contract extension on my ability to bring them to the promised land. Right. So I don't want to hear about how good he was in the regular season because we're not talking about that anymore. He's put that out there that this is what I want to be judged by. Yeah. And whether he comes through with it or not, you know, who's to say? But you can't then fall back on it and say, well, he's great in the regular season. No, you've already taken that out of the conversation. So this is what he's going to be judged by from now on. And if he fails, that's what he's going to have to answer to. He put this out there. Nobody told him. The Clippers didn't say, we signed him because we believe that. He said it.
Yep. And that's the thing, Bishop, is now, again, listen, everybody need to get their money, get paid, get every dime, get every nickel you can get every damn red cent. Yep. But the owner of the Clippers organization for the past couple of years has been talking about championship. Well, if you're talking championship, then you don't give Paul George that extension. So basically what you're telling me is it's no longer about championships. It's like I keep saying with the Yankees. It ain't about championships no more.
It's about keeping them seats filled.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't want to hear from anybody involved with the Clippers now talking about the championship because you just told me it's about the money. Okay? It's about the money with you, and that's fine. Like I said, every professional organization is not trying to win a championship. The majority of them are just trying to make money. So I get it. They're about to open a new arena. Remember, they're building their own arena. They're going to have their own arena. They want to face that arena. Paul George is from LA. He's from the area. So I get it. Okay. I understand from a fiscal sense why you did it, but don't talk to me about championships if you're giving Paul George a $190 million extension because those two things don't go together.
Here's the other thing, Chandler. We don't know. I don't think Paul George went to them and made a money demand. We don't know.
He didn't.
Right. Go ahead, Bishop.
So you guys, like I said a couple of calls ago, it's like the Clippers been in the league for 50 years. They've never done anything. For 50 years. They've never done anything. They've never won any championships. I don't even think they've been to the Western Conference Finals.
Nope.
So when they got Kawhi and they got Paul George and they were talking about championships this first season, it's like it was happy. It was faking everybody out, and everybody fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Everybody fell for it. I didn't fall for it because it's like, you know how hard it is to put together a championship team and just get these guys together. It's like in Miami, they had a better team, and it took them a couple of seasons before they got their first title.
Right.
So again, Paul George has 190 million reasons to say the word championship. He has 190 million reasons to say the word championship, to say what fans want to hear, to help develop the LA Clippers as their own entity in LA and try to get them on an equal playing field as the Los Angeles Lakers. Right. So again, it's like I'm not mad at Paul George for getting his money. The reason why he got that money is because of his performance in the regular season. So we can't discredit the regular season. That's why he got that money.
Right.
That's why he got it.
Right. The brother in the chat, John Smash Davis, says Ballmer is the richest owner in the league. He doesn't care about money. He has Microsoft money.
Basically.
Okay, nobody starts a business to not make money. Nobody starts a business to not make money.
Or lose money.
He's still trying to make more money. He's trying to make more money. All right. Right. He's trying to make more money. Like I said, this was a money move, and I get it, but you can't make a money move and then tell me it's about championships, because this wasn't a championship move. This was a money move. And I don't have a problem with you making a money move. Just own it. That's all. Just own it. And I'm not talking about Paul George. Paul George can say whatever the hell he wants. I don't care what Paul George has to say, because I know Paul George ain't going to win a damn thing. Okay? I don't care what Paul George has to say. I'm talking about what the message the organization has been putting out. This is a direct contrast to the message they've been putting out. So just own it. That's all. Just own it. Listen, we want to make money. We want to fill the seats. We want to be a perennial contender. Go ahead.
Right. He also says Ballmer is worth $72 billion. He does not care about money. He wants to win. No.
But the funny thing is, guys, we're talking about Paul George. I go back to that. Where do you find a non-top 10, 15, possibly 20 player in the league? I'm skipping over everything y'all saying. I heard what you said. But where does a guy with that talent that never got but here worth $43 million? We could say, okay, they paid him. I'm like Bishop. I'm all about somebody getting the money. I'm just saying he's not the guy that's worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said, it's because of the market he's in. He's gonna make on the last year the old deal, he's gonna make $34 million. So he's gonna get a raise.
Right.
Next is $40 million.
Right.
And I'm in agreement with you in saying maybe he doesn't deserve $40 million a year, but it's the market he's in and the way the NBA has these players who are at a certain level, and you get another contract, it's going to keep rising. Some guys are making $20 million, and we know they're not $20 million a year players.
Why not?
Yeah, but it's hard for me to understand. It's hard for me to understand that whatever the market is, that he's at the top of the market, guys. That's what I'm getting at.
Right, he is.
Paul George, who is, think about this, guys. He's the highest paid player in the NBA right now.
Until somebody else signs another deal.
But I'm talking about he better be better than that. There's got to be a line somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
Dom, take it in layman's terms. You're working on the job. They hire somebody new to do something similar to what you do, and they pay the person more. And you say, well, damn, I've been here for 10 years. This person just walked in the door, and they're making just as much or more than me. It's what the market calls for. It's just what the market calls for. It's the same way that it works in regular business, in a regular business world. So now you're talking about.
Right. I'm not denying the market. I'm just denying the individual getting that market value. That's all I'm debating. I don't think he's worth that. Period. I mean, I may be wrong. I understand what y'all are saying about the market. Trust me, I get that, guys.
Right.
I'm just saying he's not that guy.
Why not?
If there's a market, say what you said, Bishop, about somebody coming in, whatever. But if there's a market, then that means the market is here, there. There's no way in God's green earth he's on top of the market.
Look at it this way.
That's all I'm saying. How is he making more money than LeBron James?
Look at it this way, Dom. When Harrison Barnes became a free agent after his run in Golden State, he got like $20 million a year. Harrison Barnes is not a $20 million player.
Oh.
Turns around and he got another deal, still making 20-something million a year. And we know he's not a $20 million player, but it's the market he's in as the many years he's played in the league, and people looking at him like, oh, it's Harrison Barnes. He won a championship with Golden State.
But if I'm not mistaken,
that's the thing,
that was a bad time in the NBA. Let's remember, that's when they was giving out some really bizarre contract.
Right.
But that's also,
and it came back to bite some teams.
Right.
Yeah, but look at the organizations that signed look at the organization that signed some of these guys to these contracts. They were organizations that at that time were not doing well in the standings. So they needed something. They needed a piece of meat to throw to the fans to say, hey, we're trying to get better. We just spent X amount of dollars. Okay, so those signings in a vacuum make sense for that franchise. When you look at this signing in a vacuum for the Clippers, right? The Clippers right now are one of the hottest teams in the league. They're going to have fans. They actually always had a really good fan base out there, whether people want to acknowledge that or not. They've always had a really decent fan base out there. They're going to have their own arena, which means that you get to print money for 3 years because you ain't paying taxes and all that stuff. We all know about how the new stadiums, arenas go, where the organizations make money hand over fist and get tax breaks while they're not paying taxes. So no matter how you slice this extension doesn't make sense, no matter how you slice it. And and again, I'm going to keep pushing back on this. You are not trying to win if Paul George is the centerpiece of your team. You are not trying to win a championship if Paul George is the centerpiece of your team. And right now, Paul George is the centerpiece because he's the highest paid player on the team.
Until they have to pay Kyrie. They're both centerpieces together.
If they pay him to that point.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
If they get to that.
Because we don't know. He might bounce.
That's the part that was scary.
He's not going anywhere.
Scary.
He's not
we
going
don't know
anywhere.
that, bitch.
If the Clippers, so right now, with the way they're constructed, the Clippers are either the 2 or the 3 seed in the West.
No, they're about the 4 seed.
No, who's ahead of them?
I would put Denver and Dallas ahead of them.
Dallas, hell no.
No, and Denver had a good run last season, but they're not going to be a surprise anymore. So I got LA, the Lakers, and then the Clippers, and then everybody else. Golden State might come back in that 3rd spot, and then you'll have like the Blazers
Utah.
Yeah, and Utah and so forth, the mainstays. But again, they're in that top 3 spot. They're not top three teams in the West. So going from being a mediocre team to not even counting in the Western Conference to being a consistently in the top tier 3 teams, I think that's winning. For them, that's a win.
Not top 3 team. We'll do the 25-cent bet on this, but they're going to be a best of 4 seed this season. That's the best they're going to be as a 4 seed. They're not going to be higher than the 4 seed.
Who's going to supersede them besides the Lakers?
I already gave you the 2 teams, and also if you look at the way that team's constructed right now, that's not a good team right now.
Serge Ibaka is a better fit than Zubac.
Yeah, they just signed Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, I know they signed Serge. Serge is 8,000 years old too.
No, Serge is
still playing good. He ain't gonna start. He doesn't have to start, Chandler.
And he shoot threes. And he shoot threes now.
Who's the starting 5? Give me the starting 5.
Crazy Boy, Beverly. Damn, they lost Landry Shamet to the Nets.
Yeah,
who's the 2 guard, James?
He's on the bench.
Bernard.
He's on the bench. But even still, whether they're the 2 or the 3 seed in the West. They're the 2 or the 3 seed in the West. There's nobody else in that Western Conference unless Golden State comes in and blows it out the water, which they're capable of with Steph healthy. They're capable of. They're still a 2 or the 3 seed in the West. Dallas is not going above them. Denver is not going above them. Who else? Utah is certainly not going above them. Portland is not going above them. And so who else? What other teams?
I just gave you Denver and Dallas. Like I said, we'll do the 25-cent bet and we'll settle up at the end of the season.
Dallas is not going anywhere. Dallas is 7
or 8. If KP gets hurt again,
we'll settle up at the end of the season. We'll settle up at the end of the season. We'll do the 25-cent bet. But I'm telling you, they're not going to finish above 4.
That's going to be pretty tough. That's going to be pretty tough.
Then I owe you a quarter.
Yeah, okay. And with that, fellas, we gonna move on. NFL lane. Jets head coach Adam Gase is dumbfounded that Jamal Addams is throwing shade at him still.
Really?
Go ahead, Chandler. Have at it.
Everybody else that's been calling for his job all season, that hasn't affected him. But a guy who played for him saying he's terrible, suddenly he's dumbfounded. Okay, man, listen. Adam Gase should have been fired along with Greg Williams right after the Raider game. They all should have been asked to pack. Matter of fact, they should have been let on the team bus. They should have been given. They should have said, "Listen, I hope you got some cab fare because we ain't even giving you damn cab fare." Adam Gase needs to stop talking. I don't want to hear anything else from Adam Gase. I don't want to hear you talk unless you're telling me who's on the injured list. I don't want to hear a damn thing from you. Okay, go back to sniffing coke and doing the damn press conferences with your eyes bugged out. I don't want to hear nothing else from Adam Gase.
Oh, Chandler, to twist your wig a little bit more. Hold on, Bishop. He also said that he's still stung and upset by the loss against the Raiders from last week. He hasn't gotten over that.
The loss where he heard the play call and as the head coach decided not to overrule it when he had a timeout in his pocket? That loss?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Bishop.
Well, I just want to bring to everybody's attention here that the Jets are the only perfect team in the NFL.
That's right.
Say it again.
Yep.
They're the only
Say it again.
perfect team in the NFL. So you need to get off his case.
That's right. He's got a plan. He's got a plan. And right now, it's working out for him.
Yep.
Right.
But, dude is crazy. I don't understand how he can't understand why people are critical of him. It's everybody else's fault. He fired the defensive coordinator. It's everybody else's fault. He's what? What is he? We say last time it was 7-28 or whatever.
7-28.
You know,
as a Jet coach.
No, he's absolutely awful. They're unwatchable, and he needs to be gone. He should have been gone a long time ago, like Chandler said. That's my whole take on it. He sucks. He looks crazy, and he should be out of here. And what we saw last Sunday, if that don't get your bags packing and the truck pulled up, the moving truck pulled up, then I don't know what else will.
Right. It's funny. We had a lot of people in our group on Facebook. They were throwing shade at Greg Williams, and I'm like, we know Greg Williams is a douchebag, but it ain't him.
No.
Well, no, that call was a terrible.
Yes,
call.
it was a horrible
terrible call. But now, see, this is where I got a problem with Marcus May. I got a problem with a lot of people, but mainly Adam Gase. But Marcus May, you're the captain of the defense. You could have changed the play. You could have. There's a lot of things you could have done. But okay, you chose not to do that. You chose
couldn't.
After the
there's another player who said he wanted to audible out of that, and he did it.
But that's what I'm saying.
So was responsible for that. Go ahead, Chandler.
Right. So what I'm saying is the players could have said, you know what? Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not running that. But okay, a lot of those guys are young. They have been in the league long enough to feel like they have the power to do that. Okay, I'm certainly not going to blame the rookie cornerback, even though why in the hell would you bite on a double move when you know that the only chance they got to win is to get behind you? But again, rookie cornerback, he panicked. It happens. I'm not even going to criticize him. But Adam Gase, you were the head coach. You heard the call. You had the opportunity to call the timeout and you didn't. So everybody just shut up. All of y'all. Matter of fact, everybody on the Jets who's talking, shut up. All of you, shut up. Okay? I don't want to hear from any of you. I don't want to hear you, Marcus May, because you know what? You've been getting beat all season. Your defense giving up 8,000 yards a game. Greg Williams ain't making that many damn bad play calls because Greg Williams has been a pretty good defensive coordinator in the league. He's had some pretty good defenses. So you know what? Maybe y'all not good. And you got terrible coaching and you got terrible player development. So like Bishop said, they are perfect. They are perfectly awful.
Absolutely. And the fact on top of it that they ran the same defense 2 plays in a row.
Yeah.
So.
I think Greg Williams wanted to get up out of there before Adam Gase so he could hit the market and get another job. Because his job's out there to get.
Dallas next year when Mike Nolan gets fired.
I could see Greg Williams doing some things with that defense, because Dallas does have good players on that defense.
Yeah.
But to Marcus May, he actually what he did in the interviews, he's been actually trying to shade the young cornerback who, he's been trying to be a big brother to him and deflect from him making a bad play when it's on the coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at Marcus May on what he's been doing.
No, I'm not. It's just like I said. It's kind of like the Jamal Addams thing. And I kept telling you for years, I don't want to hear Jamal Addams talk when y'all not winning. I get what Marcus May is doing, but at the same time, dude, you could have done something. You're a captain on the defense. You could have called a damn timeout and then lived with the aftermath. But again, this goes back to coaching. This is all on the coaching. I don't really want to criticize the players, other than saying that they're terrible. But this is all on the coaches for the Jets. This is on the organization.
Right.
This is on Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas, you're gonna wear this, bro. So if next season you don't hit a home run with the general manager and coach, you got to go. Okay. And I mean, 5 minutes after you hire the wrong coach, I want Joe Douglas fired.
Remember, he comes from Philly, so
don't start me with that Doug Peterson. Please, no Doug Peterson. Please, no Doug Peterson.
I just say, on play calling, I'm not going to criticize the players. Their job is to carry out whatever the play is.
Right.
So the criticism goes to the play calling. If the play is called and the players fail to perform, that's a different story.
Right.
But in this case, it goes all the way up to the top, because just like anything, if you are the head coach or you're the boss, you're the CEO or whatever, and your underlings are doing certain things and you're not catching it, ultimately, that falls on you.
Right.
And so in this case, I put it squarely on Gase, because it'd be different if they had been winning this season and it's one game and you look at, okay, there was a screw up. But they haven't won anything for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, he's the only one that seems to be, still has his name on the door on Monday morning. Everybody else is out.
And he's oblivious to the fact that he's not a likable guy.
Yeah.
The next coach, like Chandler said, the next coach has to be someone I want who is interactive on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. You can't just sit there and say, well, this is my specialty, so I got to stay here. Mike Tomlin is everywhere on this team. Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, they specialize in one thing, but they stay with everybody on the team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adam Gase just sits there with his stupid sketchbook of plays, which are horrible, and his headset. Nah, you gotta be you're the coach. Right. You're the leader. Lead.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's crazy is if you look at the coaching on this team, Leonard Williams, who I kept telling you, if you put him in the right position on the defensive line, can play really well. Remember, he played really well when he had Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson that one season. He played really well.
Right.
And then they left, and you asked him to be a sack master. No, but if you give him talented people around him and you let him push that pocket in the middle, he's got 8 sacks for the Giants. Yeah. That's coaching. That is nothing but coaching.
The Giants actually have a good defensive coordinator. He's pushing the right buttons. Adam Gase. I try to watch a Jet game, and then I have to turn eventually. Yeah. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, why are you calling that on third down? Why are you calling running plays on third down?
Yeah, they're frustrating.
It's not a short yardage situation.
Yeah. Yep. You know how bad it is for the Jets? I'm in upstate New York. They don't even show the Jets up here.
Damn.
And God bless everybody upstate. You don't have to see that travesty.
You don't have to see it. Yeah.
This past Sunday, there was one game on up here. It was the Browns game.
Yo, wow. You cracked me up when you were in the other place you were in. You getting Pittsburgh games. You getting Cleveland games. One day he gonna turn on the TV and he gonna be watching Green Bay. You get all the Midwest games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that Western New York, as Pennsylvania and Ohio
Yeah,
connection too.
it's a lot of that. Yeah, I get a lot. I'll get their games and never get a Jet game.
Yeah. Well, consider yourself fortunate. We just say each week we're just gonna say, okay, whose fault is it gonna be this week?
Oh,
Right.
Because it's
Right.
it's gonna happen. But
and Jamal Addams, he went to the right team. He's playing at the same All-Pro level. He ain't saying much in the media because Pete Carroll probably said, we don't do that here.
yeah.
And Russell set him down and the players on that defense. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, the thing is, you can talk in Seattle if you back it up, but he doesn't have to because they have enough guys who are going to speak for the team. Like, look, dude, like you said, dude, you new here. We know you like to talk. Just you know what? Just hold that for a minute till you get your contract. You can talk all you want.
And listen, sometimes I like a guy who has some fire to him. I like Jamal Addams. He never rubbed me the wrong way. But it's been said that he rubbed other players in the Jet locker room raw.
Well, good.
You might want to pause on that one, man.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear from a bunch of losers being mad about another loser. All right, there were a bunch of losers in that locker room, and what it was. Oh, well, he was drawing attention to himself. Well, who the hell else were they going to talk about in that damn locker room? Y'all are trash.
Yeah, that's true. Just like I think, I got to throw Kevin under the bus because he was like Marcus Mayer's he's doing the same thing, same production as Jamal Addams. No, he wasn't. No, he's not. No, he's not. And he hasn't. He's played well, but no.
Listen, that's an awful team, and I keep saying, and I know you want to give Joe Douglas a chance. If I'm the owner of the Jets, I fire Joe Douglas. I hire Louis Riddick and Eric Bieniemy, and I call it.
I would do it. Listen, I'm with you on that because Joe Douglas, I understand what he's doing and what he did. He couldn't just come in and fire Adam Gase, and we talked about that, Chandler. He couldn't come in and fire him, but he sat there and he held on to the money because he could have got better players. The Jets had money.
Offensive line.
Right. The Jets had money this year. They're gonna have more money next year. So I know what he did. He said, "Yeah, I'm a sandbag this dude with mediocre to bad players and undermarket players who shouldn't be starting, but they're starters because I paid for them." And go ahead, Jim.
I still say if I got that number one pick, which they're gonna get, I pick Trey Lance, who probably won't go till around 8 to 10. I trade back at least twice. I get some more first round picks. I get some offensive linemen. I get a stud offensive lineman. Yes. I get a stud wide receiver, and I get my quarterback.
Yes. Mims, I actually like Mims. Mims is he's a good wide receiver that they got.
We got to hope his family don't derail him. There's some things going on with his family, like he's not playing Sunday. And his family is unfortunately not the best thing for him. And that's going back to college. His family is a negative in his life.
But he got hood boogers in his family?
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate sometimes you got to look out for the hood boogers and you know what? Let me not say that his family has hood boogers.
I'll just say that it's not the most positive thing for him and for some of his family to be around him. So like they got a family situation going on. He's not playing Sunday, but that's
because he had to leave. And when you come back, you gotta undergo the test. If we didn't have COVID, he'd probably be playing.
No, he's not even going to be there for the game.
Well, yeah, because he can't come back because he got to take all these tests. And
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like him as a player. He's played well for them when he's healthy and he's been given opportunities. A couple other pieces on the Jets, there's a couple other players I like, but I'm in agreement with you. Joe Douglas got to hit a home run on the he's got to hit a home run on the coach, and he's got to hit a home run on the draft.
Yeah. I mean, remember he was going to trade Quentin Williams. How's that working out for him now? Quentin Williams, one of your best players. He was looking at, and see, that's the thing. When people start talking about, well, we're just listening. No, that means you're actively trying to trade somebody.
Right.
So the fact that he was willing to trade Quentin Williams, and the fact that he let Leonard Williams go, I don't trust Joe Douglas. I don't trust him.
Well, he looks. Listen, if you're friends with Adam Gase, I can't mess with you.
Yeah.
Because that's who brought him in. That's his homeboy.
Right. Yeah. Who he's backstabbing, by the way. Think about that for a minute. Your boy got you your first GM job, and you knifed him from day one.
Right. Let's move on a little bit. Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, says he will come back, but only for a Super Bowl bound team. How do y'all feel about that?
Man, stay in Oakland.
You guys can continue this conversation. I gotta run.
Okay.
But it's been good talking to you always.
You too. Like I said, I love that. Where'd you get that hat from? Because I need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link for it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I need a New York Mets hat.
Have you just quick before I go? Have you driven by the new arena out there at Belmont Park?
No, I haven't been out that way, but
I've been by there a few times. It's coming along real nice.
That's in the Islanders arena, right?
Yeah. The UBS arena.
My uncle lives not too far from the stadium.
Yeah.
He lives when you go down Hempstead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like a couple of blocks away from the stables.
Okay. Yeah. It's coming on real. I pass it every time I go to Home Depot.
So I'm supposed to go to his house eventually. And
they're almost done.
Nice.
The exterior is done. They got the interior stuff to fill out, but it's coming along. So check it out. All right, fellas. So I'm gonna sign off.
All right.
Peace.
All
guys.
right.
All right, Dave.
Take care.
Chandler, I got one more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Reports state that the Cleveland Browns should trade Odell Beckham Jr.
I think they should, and I think it would benefit both of them. I don't think Odell fits well with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield doesn't know how to use Odell. He's not built to throw to a guy like that. He works better with basically possession receivers.
Intermediate balls.
Yeah, and then those guys will break it. And Odell can play that game, but for whatever reason, they just don't click. Call it what it is. They just don't click. And then you add in the fact that they have too many guys to throw balls to. They're going to be a run first, run second, run third team. If Kevin Stefanski has any brain.
Well, that's what he's been doing.
Exactly. So if you stay with. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you got what's the running back? You got Chubb and Hunt. Give him the ball.
Yeah.
And they're both good pass catchers.
Exactly. So if you look at it, what you need is two good tight ends.
Which they have.
They got just 3. Some good receivers. You don't need a great receiver. You just need a couple of good receivers, which they have, and Landry and the other guys that they have. Right now, that team, that team is basically built. You just now have to get people used to winning and meeting expectations and all of those kind of things. So I think it would be best for Odell to go somewhere where they would utilize him better. Honestly, if Ben wasn't at the end of his career, I would say Odell in Pittsburgh would be a perfect fit. Yeah. Because he could play that Antonio Brown position that they played, that they had Antonio in, and he would kill it.
Pittsburgh really doesn't need him, though, because they got their young receivers who...
Right, I know.
It's crazy. Pittsburgh always gets good receivers.
Yeah. Player development. And they always draft them in the second round. There's never a first rounder. It's always second rounders. But I think Kyle Shanahan's offense or Seattle.
Seattle has their receivers, though.
Yeah, but listen, he's an upgrade over Tyler Lockett.
He is, but they got their receivers.
I know. I'm trying to think where he could go. Honestly,
before the show started, I had a team, the Jets.
I was just going to say that depending on who the Jets have at quarterback, right, and depending on who the coach is, I would love to see him do that just so he could stick it to the Giants every week.
Yeah,
because the Giants are going to be good. Going forward, I think the Giants are going to be good.
They are, and I'm not mad at Odell what he said recently.
No, he was right.
The dumb reporter for the New York Post is really trying to sandbag Odell. Pat Sherman's an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, what did he say that was wrong?
Right. Gettleman's an idiot.
Yeah, they didn't put any talent around Eli.
Right.
Listen,
we said that on this show.
Yeah, the Giants this season are succeeding because of the coach, not because of the talent that Dave Gettleman gave him. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. This is basically, except for a couple of players, the same team as last season.
I think when they got the safety Logan, when they got him, he transformed their defense. The defensive coordinator is a good defensive coordinator.
Right.
He doesn't have top flight talent, but he's taking those guys and he's putting them in different places. He's using Jabril Peppers in a way that you don't see his weaknesses. Jabril Peppers is not a safety you play.
He's not a safety. He's not a linebacker. He's kind of a tweener. But that's what I'm saying. If you look at
let him run to the ball.
Yeah, look at this roster. Tell me how much different it is than last season. It's not really that different.
But it's different.
But yet they're playing so much better. They look like almost a brand new damn team.
Right. And it's due to, like you said, the coaching. I'm gonna say next year they're a bubble playoff team.
Yeah, I'd say 8-8,
depending on what they do in the off season.
Yeah, I'll give them 8-8 next season, simply because you don't take quantum leaps most times in the NFL. They're probably going to stick with Daniel Jones. I don't think they're going to spend some money on their offensive line. They're going to spend some money probably in the linebacking core. Maybe they get a receiver in the draft, but I don't see Gettleman, if he's still there, which unfortunately he will be.
He'd be there.
I don't see Gettleman doing a whole lot, but what I see them doing is making incremental improvements, which means that if they win, because I think they're going to win 6 games this season, 6 or 7. So next year you figure about a 2 to 3 game jump. So they're either 8-8 or 9-7 next year. Right. Which in the NFC East, hell, you win the division.
Right. If I like the running back. Goldman is I liked him anyway before they got Saquon, but it's just that they never gave him the ball and they had no choice. Yeah, they had him like third or he wasn't getting no touches. Right. And then when they had the injuries at running back, they decided to give him the ball, and then they like, oh wow, he's really good. Yeah.
Now you pair him with Saquon, kind of like they're doing with Hunt and Chubb in Cleveland.
Yes.
Dude. And then you go run first, run second, run third. You keep the ball out of game. Basically what they're doing now, but with 2 dynamic running backs.
Yeah. And Ingram is good, but he drops balls at the wrong time.
Ingram's got to go, bro. You know who you got to go get? You know who you got to go get? Who's the tight end? Who's the tight end that was complaining about his contract? Is it the one in Frisco?
No, he got paid.
There's a tight end that didn't get paid.
Cleveland's. Njoku.
Njoku. There you go. Go get Njoku. Evan Ingram can go. Go get Njoku. And now the thing with him is, can he stay healthy? But there's going to be a couple of tight ends out there that you can get. You know what? Listen, if they make the right moves and you don't have to spend a lot of money on them, like I said, that team should win at least 3 more games than it does next year.
Yeah, and they'll go to the playoffs this year and probably losing a wild card game depending on who they play.
Yeah. Now, you know be funny though, because Golden Tate's got to go, right? And he never
wants to leave.
Yeah,
I believe he complained the dumb shit with him and Slayton.
Yeah,
I mean, not Slayton. What's the defensive back he got beef with? Because dude is his sister.
What's his face from that was in Jacksonville?
Yeah. That's on Jalen Ramsey.
There you go. You know who actually would be a good fit on this team now? The guy we started talking about, Odell Beckham.
But Gettleman ain't bringing him back.
No, he's not. He's not.
He should have never traded him, but Jabel Peppers is starting to pan out. So
yeah, but
funny how that works.
Odell Beckham would be a great fit on this team right now, if you think about it.
Yeah. He makes Shepard better. He makes Slayton better on the other side. For some reason, Slayton hasn't gotten the ball in the last couple of games.
Because now the defenses are keying on him, he can't separate. See, the one thing these guys can't do, they can't really separate. Odell Beckham can separate, which means that
Slayton can. I watched the Giants games. It's partly how they scheming them, and partly they stay to the run, and they don't want Jones to make any mistakes. So
that's true, but he doesn't run routes clean. I don't like the way he runs his routes. His routes are not clean.
He's still a work in progress.
Exactly. So imagine now you put Odell Beckham in that takes pressure off of him. Now you got to you have to pay attention to Odell, which means the cornerback, there's somebody always over the top, which means now I got a little more room to operate if I'm Sterling Shepard, if I'm Slayton. So, but Odell, honestly, you know what? Depending on what Atlanta does, if they keep Matt Ryan, Cincinnati,
I think he might be gone.
Or Cincinnati with Joe Burrow.
Cincinnati got a crew of receivers. I've been watching Cincinnati.
Yeah, I know, but what's his face wants out because he's not getting the ball.
AJ Green, they're not giving him the ball anymore.
Right.
But it's due to injury and age because he's a little banged up and not the same player he once was.
Yeah, but he also doesn't fit right with that quarterback for some reason. Joe Burrow doesn't even look for him. He don't even look for him.
Right.
So, it's a lot to the relationship between the quarterback and wide receiver. I think
I got one for you. Detroit.
Who's the quarterback?
If they keep Stafford.
Oh yeah, Odell Beckham and with Stafford. Stafford's going to throw 300 yards a game.
Speaking of Detroit, Louis Riddick is in. They need to go get him.
Yes.
There were talks that they were talking to the Giants old GM.
Oh,
the other brother.
Yeah, no. Louis, and you know what? I'm gonna give you another name, Louis Riddick, and what was the Marvin Lewis?
You would bring in Marvin Lewis as a coach?
I would. You know why? Even though his teams didn't win in the playoffs, they got the playoffs damn near every year, and he was working for one of the cheapest franchises that's ever been in the NFL. Okay. He was always the lowest paid coach. His assistants were always the lowest paid guys. They had no scouting. The Browns just don't spend money. You put him with they didn't, and they're still not. Let's be honest, they're still not.
You mean the Bengals? The
Bengals? Yeah, the Brown family. The Brown family. That's what owns the Bengals is the Brown family who used to own the Browns, but that's way too much NFL history. But if you give Marvin Lewis a real organization to work for, dude, look at what he did with those Cincinnati Bengals teams. You don't think he could do that with Detroit?
If Detroit owner lets the GM do what the GM needs to do, yeah. Exactly. They sort of spend money, so
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And listen, people say, well, he just got to the playoffs. If you're a Detroit Lion fan, just getting to the playoffs would be enough right now.
Yes, it would. Especially after dealing with Matt Patricia's dumbass and the GM's dumbass.
I mean, the last good coach they had was Wayne Fontes, man. No. The last good coach. Well, besides Jim Caldwell.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I'm not a Jim Caldwell fan, but they did him dirty.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we said that. But look, it worked out for him. He's in Illinois. He's coached for life in Illinois.
He might get another NFL job. Was he 60? He's over 60.
Yeah. If I'm him, I do like Herm Edwards. I stay in college now.
Right.
Because if at Illinois, if they make a bowl game, that's like them winning the NFL. That's like them winning the college football championship. You remember this is a university that was an afterthought for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
Now, go ahead.
Look at Romeo Crennel. I always liked him.
Mm-hmm.
He got Houston playing.
Yeah. I think he's going to get that job. I think he's going to keep the job because the players want to play for him. And that's the biggest thing is you can see that the guys are playing hard for him. They weren't for O'Brien. Now, if you just give them some competent players and get Deshaun Watson some wide receivers and get, whatever you got to give J.J. Watt so he can stop getting hurt, that's a playoff team.
Right. I know he said on record, he said, yo, if y'all get rid of Fuller, I'm pissed.
Well, Fuller kind of cut his own throat with that PED suspension. I don't think he's coming back. Now there's a landing spot for OBJ.
Where, Houston?
Yes.
Yeah. New Orleans?
I don't think he needs to be in New Orleans, man. Some guys don't need to be at home. He don't need to be there.
Why?
Some people don't listen. He didn't know how to act when LSU was in the damn championship. Come on, can you imagine him there?
Why? What you mean? He gonna be on Bourbon Street?
Man, listen, he gonna be having that etouffee every day.
He gonna be in the woods.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be at home. But that wouldn't be bad though. Odell in Houston. That would not be a bad move. But the thing is, you can't trade him to Houston because you can't get anything back from Houston.
Oh yeah, that's because the dumb GM coach he traded a lot of pieces away.
Now I wonder though, because Odell has been pretty much a model citizen in Cleveland. He hasn't done anything. I wonder if they would sit down and was like, listen, we want to trade you, but we ain't gonna get what we can get. We know you need to go. It's best for us for you to go, not in a negative way, but I think it's just that's the way it's best to work out. They said, how about we cut you? But how about you start having some backdoor conversations with some people who might want to sign you, and we'll cut you on this date so that you can sign with whatever team you want. I honestly think that would be a win-win for both of them.
Could be.
They get out from under his contract. And he gets to pick where he wants to go versus them trading him somewhere that he doesn't want to go. As kind of a thank you, Jason, just for not being a jerk the entire time you've been here, because he hasn't been.
No.
And teams have done that in the past for players. They're like, listen, you know what? How about we do it like this? For instance, the way the Panthers cut Greg Olsen so he could sign with somebody right away.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, teams do. Speaking of goodwill by teams, dude on the Nick page, Nick Twitter.
Oh God.
Dallas signed JJ Redick and then they cut him so that he could get that money.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which was the veterans minimum. Yeah. And homeboy is like, the Knicks should sign him. I'm like, the Knicks already got their guards. They don't need JJ Barrera. He's washed.
Yeah. He's 36. He was never a real point guard. He's not going to mentor anybody.
Right.
Mark Cuban specifically signed him so that when they cut him, he would get that money. That was a going away present. Oh, and by the way, he's already got a job with the team when the pandemic is over. He has a job with the Mavericks. So that was a, hey, thanks for your service kind of a deal. It's amazing how people can't read the room sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The only JJ Barea fits with Dallas. He fits with Dallas. He fits their culture. He knows what they do. So why would you then sign him to go, oh, we want you to mentor? He's going to mentor the Dallas Maverick way, which is not hopefully the Nick way.
I like JJ Barrera, by the way. He says he wants to get into coaching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's a good coach.
At some point, and I think that's what they're going to do in Dallas. They're going to start him in the pipeline, make him like a player development guy in the beginning, get him immersed in it, and then allow him to figure out what he wants to do.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like organizations that keep the old players around so that you can have a culture. It's funny how those organizations are successful, like Miami, Lakers, places like that.
It's funny, the Knicks keep players around, but they don't keep them involved with the team.
Yeah, I know.
Which is stupid. You have John Starks still in your organization. You still utilize him, but you don't have him with the players.
No. Yeah, but no. Listen, they got a lot of guys that could be working with guys, and then that's why I said that's the one thing I'll give Thibodeau credit for. He'll make up jobs to give somebody a job. Hey, you're gonna be my in charge of developing the towel snapping guy. All right.
Like he did for Aaron Brooks.
Yeah.
He's there two-way player, the development guy.
Yeah, it's a made-up title.
But he gets to coach, and he gets to be around Thibodeau, observing Thibodeau and Mike Woodson coaching. Like, I watched the game tonight with the Knicks.
I'm watching it now.
They're gonna be better because he let Mike Woodson do what he does in terms of and I think Thibodeau is that kind of guy where he'll let his assistant coaches.
Yeah. Who's number 3? Who's number 3 with the weird hair? Who is that? I couldn't read his name.
Is he tall?
Yeah. It's not Robinson.
That's Noel's.
Oh, that's Nerlens.
Nerlens, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who the hell is that? He looks familiar, but I couldn't see the name.
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, they'll be. I'm not gonna say they'll be good this year, but they'll be better, in the whole thing will be better than what it was last year.
They'll be like the Giants. They will be a professional, hardworking team, and the results will be what the results are. But that's not honestly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for progress right now. Progress to me is that they look like a professional team every night. That's progress for the Knicks right now, is to look like a competent professional basketball team on a nightly basis.
And I think Woodson and Tibbs will be better. They'll be good for a guy like Knox. They'll unlock some of the things that's wrong with him as a player.
Or he won't play.
Right. Or he will not play.
Right. So this is Kevin Knox make it or break it year, because if you can't play for Thibodeau, you can't, because all Thibodeau wants is effort. If you give effort, he will put you on the floor. Regardless of results, if you give him effort, he will have your ass out there. That's how Noah got to develop, because Noah just kept giving effort and they kept working on his game. So if you give him effort, you can play. If you don't get no effort, you can't play. This season is going to tell a lot about a lot of guys. I think
I saw people diving on the floor tonight.
Yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. looks like he's in shape.
Probably is.
He looks like he's in shape. He looks different. He still looks sad, but he looks committed.
Right.
So that is Noel. Yeah.
Time heals whatever ails you, and that he needed time because
he did.
He did his family.
Yeah. I still don't want to see Ntilikina. Now I know he's gonna have Ntilikina on the floor, because Ntilikina does give you effort every play, but it's time for Ntilikina to go. I'm sorry, he's never gonna be a good player.
I was watching. It was I think just before the show started, and he got the ball in his hands. He drove, and then he jumped in the air, and he threw the ball out of bounds. I'm like, French.
Yeah, and Obi Toppin has a lot of work to do. His from a defensive standpoint, he has no concept of playing defense. His feet are wrong. His base is wrong. Dude, he bit on an up fake from Blake Griffin out of damn near the 3-point line. Come on, Sam.
Now that head fake was. I know Blake Griffin knew he wasn't gonna go anywhere, but when he bit on it,
yeah.
I know he was like.
His feet were perpendicular. I mean, his feet were dude. His stand, and I'm just watching it now. And then they took him out of the game, and the coaches brought him right over and started explaining to him what he did wrong.
Yeah, Mike Woodson's speaking to him. That's the play I was talking about, where I said Mike Woodson is getting at people and coaching them up. I think Obi Toppin will work on he won't ever be the greatest defender, but he'll be better because of his coaching staff.
Oh yeah. But I still don't see how you can have him and Randall on the court at the same time. It doesn't work, bro. It doesn't work.
I watch your boy Randall.
He ain't changed.
No, he did some good things, but he's gonna resort to who he is. Like, I seen him dribbling. He got the ball and he's dribbling up. I'm like, yo, my man, give up. Look for your point guard. Give him the ball. Move out the way and get into your position in the set.
Yeah. You know what?
He took the ball, dribbled head down, And he dribbled into, same old dribble into 2-3 people, but he made the right pass. So I was like, okay.
I still don't like him getting the ball at the top of the key. I still don't like it, but it is what it is. But no, I think the Knicks are going to be better this season. Again, I'm not a great fan of the players, but I think they're going to be better. I know they're going to play hard. So we'll see what the results are. The results will be what the results will be. Like I said, for me, it's not so much the outcome. It's kind of what they say when you're dealing with recovery. You're only responsible for your effort, not the outcome.
Right. If you still doing what you was doing under previous regimes, Randall dribbling with your head down in the 3 defenders, get stopping, and then you throw the ball out of bounds, or you take a bad shot and you miss. Elfrid Payton played well. He's not my point guard, but he is a solid, decent point guard.
Yeah. Listen, he's doable for right now. He's doable for right now.
I didn't watch the whole game because we were doing the show. I gotta find out what's my man from Michigan.
Oh,
the white kid.
Briz. I haven't seen him. So far in the game, I haven't seen him.
Yo, Ronan is hilarious. He said Randall should change his last name to the Rhino. Yeah, the Ronan, you are so right. That's who he is on the court. Just lower your head down and barrel into everybody.
Hey man, listen, I gotta go hit this store before it closes because I ain't got nothing to eat. I'm hungry.
All right, hit me on the hip if you want.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that because I gotta walk to the store, so I gotta talk to somebody while I'm walking.
All right. Listen, everybody, we want to thank you for joining us. This is In the Paint, the realest show in sports. I'm Max 611. My brother R. Jones had to bounce early. Chandler, thank you. Those in the chat room, Ronan Black, my brother, thank you. Catch us on Twitter at Max 611, at Real R. Jones, at In the Paint Media. Peace.